Feeling good, feeling great, feeling good. How are you? This is a special Timeline T. I am your host, the Sam D. NFL Draft, Round 1, Night 1. It's a watch along. Pull up. There's a lot going on. Teams are on the clock. Y'all see it. Allegedly Bryce Young to be him, number 1 overall. Y'all also see it. CJ Stroud with a late resurgence, allegedly number 2. Therefore, the actual draft begins at pick 3. I'm on the timeline heavy. We have recharged batteries. Switched up the Wi-Fi to make sure everything's strong and on point. It's going to be one of the ones. We are here from pick 1 to pick 31. So tap in. Lock it in. We got water. We got snacks. It's going to be a long stream, but we are here. All right? Thank you for those pulling up. Thank you for those who will be pulling up. Do have my guy, Greg Larnard from ESPN Radio out there in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Flip that. ESPN Radio host, he'll be pulling up as the Titans are going to be one of those teams to watch tonight. And also he covers the Falcons as well. So the Falcons will be a team to watch tonight at the 8th spot. So the 8th spot and the 11th spot, if the Titans stay there, try to move up to 3. We'll get there. My guy Greg Larnard will be tapping in. We'll bring him in. He'll give us some analysis. So it should be a good stream. Oh. Lamar Jackson, people are still buzzing about the Lamar Jackson thing. The hot takes are still coming fast and furious. We'll touch on some of that as well. But let's go ahead and get this popping. Oh, man. Great stream earlier today, the original Timeline T. Man, we broke down the Lamar stuff in real time. So if you haven't had that, I'll be definitely putting out a clip of that whole segment, chopping it up as we go. Was able to have some debates within the chat. Some people call me a hater because I'm not really in favor of this Lamar Jackson contract, but it is what it is. He felt that's what his worth is, so he got what he felt is his worth. So Bryce Young, numero uno. Allegedly, if we're to believe it, and Dove was, make sure I can move this down. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. So Dove, who's very popular on this stream, was thought to be tipping picks tonight, but he said he's not going to tip picks tonight. So we're all going to find out in real time. I have my Fall of the Network stream set up. So we got that. We have the little montage rolling as we go along. So that's why it is literally us watching along, because I'm watching it. I'm assuming y'all are watching it. And now we have it here. But if you're not able to watch it, you can watch it through me as I tell you what's going on in real time. They are now panning to the camera out there in Kansas City. It is a lot going on out there. Pretty packed house. We got we got Roger Goodell coming to the front of the stage. Who is there with him? Is that Andy Reid or is that a fake Andy Reid? That appears to be a fake Andy Reid at the dais, at the podium, on stage with Roger Goodell. Draft is happening live in Kansas City, so you would expect there'll be some Chiefs flavors sprinkled in. Don't need that popping up. Let's clear that. All right, so we will navigate. We have a lot of windows open tonight. It's a lot of tabs trying to keep up with all the latest information as it comes down. Raj is at the podium. He's doing his thing, but I think once we look at it, Bryce Young seems to be the consensus number 1 overall pick. But as you see here, the Panthers are selecting Bryce Young with the first overall pick and might trade back into the first round. Carolina have, quote, explored trading back into the bottom of the first round for a pass rusher if the right one is there, per Albert Breer. That, to me, is interesting because they gave up a lot of collateral to move up from 9 to 1 in that Bears deal where they had to give up DJ Moore as well. So the fact that they think they still have enough collateral, will they have to give up another future first, or did they give up? No, they gave up a future first to Chicago. So I don't know what collateral they think they're going to have to be able to move back up into the first round, into the bottom of the first round, but we shall see. But everything is starting to get kicked off there in Kansas City. I'm keeping an eye on it here. They're doing the introductions. Yeah, it's a lot going on. Roger's hugging everybody. He's giving people thug hugs. So he is doing Roger things. Yeah, that's definitely a fake Andy Reid on stage. Eric Stonestreet, Emmy-winning actor. He is giving off Andy Reid vibes out there in Kansas City right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. But bottom of the first round for the Carolina Panthers, trying to trade up back into the bottom of the first round. All right, they're bringing up Mahomes. Mahomes has the Lombardi. Who's that with him? Kelsey. That appears to be Kelsey as well. So Mahomes is in the house. He's walking across the stage. I wonder what he thinks about the Lamar Jackson deal. Had a lot of glowing things to say about Jalen Hurts and his new deal. I wonder if anyone will ask him about the Lamar Jackson deal. We'll see how that goes. Yep, that's Kelsey definitely with Mahomes on stage to hyping the crowd up. A lot of Chiefs fans heavy in the building. Are they supposed to be rotating this draft thing? You know, for decades, it was in New York. I used to go to the draft back in the day when it was at the Garden, at the Baby Theater in the Garden. It never made it to the real Garden, the big Garden, but it was always at the little small theater next to the actual Mecca. And it was always a pretty dope experience. You would get to meet fans from other teams who would be traveling in, and they would make it like a whole, tourist thing of being able to be in New York and all of that. Corey's in the chat. He's saying Bijan to Philly confirmed. Okay. Sources close? Are you saying this because you got sources, or are you saying you saw this online? Oh, that's the dude from Modern Family. Okay. I am not up to speed. Do not watch Modern Family, but okay, that's the dude that's out here hyping up the crowd out there in Kansas City. Roger Goodell, I'm sure he's going to do a little long-winded speech and then announce that the Panthers are on the clock. And it should be a foregone conclusion, as everyone and their mama is saying, that Bryce Young will be the number one QB. QB from Atlanta, former Heisman Trophy winner, will be the number one selection for the Carolina Panthers. So they begin a rebuild, a complete teardown. They've gotten rid of everyone. First, it was jettisoning Cam Newton years ago. And they've kind of been in this thing of trying to figure it out. They've been having stopgaps. They tried some P.J. Walker. They tried some Sam Darnold. They tried some Baker Mayfield. They just been trying to fill a spot. And now it's come down to where, also let's not forget, they traded off Christian McCaffrey. They got rid of Chosen Anderson, the now Chosen Anderson, formerly Richie Anderson. And now DJ Moore. Complete tear down and rebuild, and it begins anew with Bryce Young. Yes, they went out there and got Miles Sanders in free agency. Yes, they went out there and got Adam Thielen and I think DJ Chark. But the main thing is that they have a quarterback that they feel they can mold. And with Jim Caldwell in that front office, we would like to think Bryce Young should be in very, very good hands, because Jim Caldwell has fixed, keyword there, fixed Peyton Manning. He fixed Matthew Stafford, and he fixed Joe Flacco, and they all won Lombardis after he was done with them. So Thomas is in the house. Appreciate Thomas pulling up. Appreciate Corey pulling up as well. No way, I don't want that pick for Philly. Oh, well, it's look, man, I think it's going to be hard for any team that's smart to pass on Bijan Robinson. He's him. I haven't felt this strongly about a running back prospect in a very long time, to be quite honest with you. I have fallen into the trap of others in, devaluing that position, but I ultimately feel like there could be a thing here with Bijan where he could be a one of one. You could still argue if the Giants reached all them years ago when taking Saquon where they did. You can make an argument for that, but ultimately with that skill set, that's the type of guy you would take. He's the exception to the rule. Christian McCaffrey, exception to the rule. And I think Bijan Robinson, with the way that he projects at the next level, with the skill set that he possesses, I definitely think he is a guy that will work at the next level and work in a major way, not just 1,000-yard back. He's a guy that I believe, at his apex, can give you 1,500 to 1,700 yards all purpose. I think he's that good. So the Panthers are on the clock. They have, according to my stream, which could be a few seconds delayed because I can't really have my normal TV set up here in front of me. So I have a stream. It's under 7 minutes on the clock for the Panthers. So we are awaiting them to do what they do. But we are out here. Thank y'all for pulling up. Buckle up. It's a long one. Pause. And we will be here to break this stuff down. It's kind of, and this is why I kind of don't like the picks being leaked, or at least the consensus stuff coming, because like we really don't have anything to really worry about until the third pick, if we're to believe all the reports. Panthers on the clock. Everyone's saying it's Bryce Young. All right, cool. Then it's number 2 with the Houston Texans. That was thought to be an interesting pick, but now we're getting all these late reports saying that it's going to be, might as well pull that up while we're here, we're waiting. Charles Robinson been all over it because Pro Football Talk went out there and said CJ Stroud suddenly becomes a heavy favorite to go number 2. And Charles Robinson gives a little bit more insight. In the last 24 hours, it has felt like Texans' plan was to take Will Anderson at 2, then come back and get Stroud so long as the board was falling their way. Seems like the board isn't falling their way with the Titans making calls. Either Houston takes the quarterback, CJ Stroud, at 2, or they lose him. So that's why now we're getting reports that CJ Stroud is now back in the mix at the Houston Texans at the 2 spot. So we will see how that goes. But ultimately, if that happens, then we're sitting here at 3 with the Arizona Cardinals, and that seems to be the big spot. Will the Titans do the deal that we were talking about just about a little bit over an hour or so ago about DeAndre Hopkins and the 11th pick to the Arizona Cardinals? Excuse me, the 3rd pick and D-Hop to the Titans for the 11th pick, with the Titans trying to move up. Now, there's been conflicting reports on that. Pro Football Talk went out there, and which is Mike Florio, blue check boy. He went out there and said that that deal is in the mix, is being discussed. But then, was it Rappaport? Yeah, Ian Rappaport disputed it and said he's hearing that they're talking. Where do I have it here? Here we go. While the Titans have had conversations about a potential trade up to 3, among other spots, they have not had conversations centered around star wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, source said. Yeah, because this makes more sense to me than what the alleged deal was. Because I was like, well, what the hell is what is Arizona getting? You're giving up a number 1 receiver and the 3rd pick to move down to 11, and you're getting what in return? So cooler heads have prevailed allegedly, well, but we shall see. But it ultimately seems like the draft starts at 3. If the Texans feel they can't spin the block and trade back up, because remember, they have the 12th pick as well. So I'm assuming they thought they could leverage that 12th pick and maybe some future considerations to move back up to come get their QB, CJ Stroud. But if that's not the case, and the Titans are willing to trade up to 3 to try to get CJ Stroud, then yeah, let's just go ahead and take him at 2, and then we'll figure out what to do at 12. Let me get let me come off the screen here for a second. Let me get a big board up and ready to go. Full order. Okay. Yep. And let's zoom out just a bit on this screen. Give me a sec. Okay. I think that should be good enough. All right. So this is what we're looking at as of right now. So again, we're talking about Houston at 12. That's their 2nd of their 1st round picks. So if they don't take CJ Stroud here at 2, then there's a possibility like, all right, can we leverage this 12th pick to move back into the top 10 to then spin the block on CJ Stroud? It doesn't look like that's possible, because if they pass on CJ Stroud, then the Titans appear to be all in to try to get number 3 with Arizona to try to get CJ Stroud. So Houston appears to be, all right, the hell with it. We'll just take CJ at 2, and then we'll figure out what to do at 12, whether it's trying to move back into the top 10 to maybe spin the block on somebody else at that point. Maybe they try to move up to get, if you're the Titans, who would you move up to get? If Jalen Carter is falling, knowing you got DeMeco Ryans as your head coach, You're assuming now, well, Will Anderson kind of falls, no? Where does Will Anderson go if Houston doesn't take him at 2? We haven't heard any smoke about Arizona sitting there at 3 and taking him. It's been a lot of smoke about Paris Johnson. Okay, the pick is in for the Panthers. Corey's saying I'm about 20, 30 seconds behind. Okay, that's about standard with the stream I'm using. All right, I'll accept that. Thomas, I know I just don't want a rival to get more stronger. No, I feel you. I feel you, Thomas. Godell is up there. I'm sure the pick has been made, but that's where we're at. We're assuming Bryce Young, #1 overall to the Carolina Panthers. There it is. Bryce Young, officially a Carolina Panther. First QB off the board. The Houston Texans are now on the clock. Something light there. We'll see what happens when it comes to CJ. There you go. Times Bryce Young's the pick. Yep, Bryce Young is up. He's walking up. He's got a nice suit. Somebody's mama was put out there. Was that CJ's mom or Bryce's mom? Somebody's mom is holding. That's all I'll say. Matter of fact, let me see if we can find it. I don't want to be that guy, but could not ignore the obvious. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. CJ Stroud's. Okay. Yeah. Mrs. Stroud. Hello. I'll just leave that alone. Leave that alone. Okay. So we have that. That has happened. Bryce Young is the first pick. The Texans are now on the clock. We are assuming the Houston Texans are on the clock, and we're assuming it's going to be CJ Stroud. No word yet on a trade. Dove with the pick. The Panthers were clearly told to milk it because it was known well before because they damn near used up the whole clock. Yeah. Now, the Texans have under 6 minutes coming up on 5 minutes left to make their pick. We'll see what that goes. But again, all signs seem to be pointing towards the Houston Texans taking CJ Stroud. Appreciate the likes, y'all. I really do appreciate that. It helps spread the word of the stream. So they're going to milk the hell out of this. So, all right. So how do we project this Carolina Panther team? Bryce Young. It's official. It's a done deal. Miles Sanders, Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, and now Bryce Young. Jim Caldwell in the tuck, Frank Reich as the coach. We talked about it last week, but the strength of schedule for the NFC South is very weak next year. Is it possible the Panthers could do a quick turnaround here? Do you take Bryce Young because you think he's the best ready-made QB right now? Because if you have Miles Sanders, he's an established player. Adam Thielen, I think he's on the back half of his career, but he's still an established player. DJ Chark, he has shown some flashes, but hasn't really put it together consistently, but he's a guy that has big play potential. There is a roster in Carolina. Now you add in Frank Reich, Jim Caldwell upstairs consulting. There could be something here with the Panthers with a weak schedule coming up this year. Lombardi Leap is in the house. Was good, Lombardi. Lombardi, you missed a hell of a stream earlier. Good Lord, with all the Lamar stuff, you missed a hell of a stream. Hope Bryce Young does well, but I don't know. I think he'll do well. I don't. My contention with Bryce Young going #1 has never been he's not good or he's not worthy or he's not deserving. My contention with Bryce Young going #1 is I don't think you go from 9-1 to take Bryce Young. I think you go 9-1 with Jim Caldwell in the tuck and take Anthony Richardson, but it's a foregone conclusion that the pick is in and it's Bryce Young, so it's fine. But, I think he'll do well. Jim Caldwell can help anybody. If he can help Matt Stafford not be what we knew Matt Stafford to be, then he's a difference maker. If he can make Joe Flacco turn into a $100 million quarterback, then he's a difference maker. We know what he did with Peyton Manning. So I have faith in Jim Caldwell that if he feels this is the guy to take, that he can, fix if there's anything needs to be fixed, I'm rolling. Wide receiver group is weak for the Panthers. I mean, yes, because they traded DJ Moore. So yes, he was the last remnants of that wide receiver group. But I think I'm not big on Adam Thielen, haven't been for a while. But if you just need some warm bodies, I think that's a decent pickup. And then you bring in DJ Chark. And then, who knows with the draft, like now they got that pick out the way. Where's their next pick? They picked 39th. There's got to be some kind of weapon, some receiver potentially available at 39. Maybe Jalen Hyatt is still available at 39. If you can walk away out of this draft with Bryce Young and Jalen Hyatt, that's a strong draft. If that's your 1-2, that's a strong draft. Now, if Hyatt's not there, I don't know how deep this has been very conflicting to see how deep this wide receiver class is, but All right, Houston Texans, the pick is in. Is it CJ? Is it QB's 1-2 like we thought it was going to be the entire time? Or do we get a flip? Do we get a remix? Do we get a monkey wrench thrown into the procedures? I know y'all are probably slightly ahead of me, but let me just catch this in real time. Yep, C.J. Stroud and his mama going to H-Town. Salute to Mrs. Stroud. Let's see. Back to the chat. Thomas, I hope he does well, but not against the Saints. Thomas is a big Saints guy. So, yeah, you now have that problem in your division. Oh, Lombardi Lee, figure new job training. Oh, man, salute, man. Congrats on the new gig, man. Salute. Don't worry about it. The stream will always be here for you. You know that. You always have a spot here. Alexandra's pulling up. Hey, Alexandra, how you doing? Hope you're feeling better. Lombardi can't fix height. Nah, that's facts. You can't fix the height. And I think that will always be the little bugaboo if you have to have a problem. If you have to nitpick on Bryce Young, that's the only thing. And, I was listening to Nate Tice, which is Mike Tice's son. And he was making some really good points in regards to Bryce Young and reasons why you wouldn't take him. He was like, look, the skill set is there. The acumen is there. The performance in high level situations is there, but we have yet to see a quarterback this small, not just in height but in weight, perform at a really high level, especially a number one overall pick level. So he has to be the exception of all exceptions to the rule, just because of his diminutive size. So it remains to be seen. Alexander, first pick was Young and Texans took Stroud. Yep, you're on point. You're on point, Alexander. You haven't missed anything. Young at 1, CJ Stroud at 2. Now the draft really begins with the Cardinals on the clock at 3. Will they keep the pick? Will they trade back? This is now where the fun begins in the draft. Wow, Corey thought it was going to be Anthony Richardson? I don't think no way the Texans would have done that. I don't think there was no way they were going to do that. Corey's actually surprised. I'm surprised that he's surprised. Oh, you're saying Indy. Indy is taking AR? Let's go ahead and refresh. Let's find some stuff. Oh, shout out to CJ. He makes an appearance on the stream. Let's see. Corey has a lot of tea, but he's not saying where the tea is coming from. Do I need to dig deep into the bag? Let's see. Rap sheet. Let's go Rappaport. Rappaport allowed to say anything? Nope, he's not saying anything yet. Alexandra, Texans. Guys, no one wanted to be a Texan. That's funny. Thomas likes to pick. Good pick, Houston. Yeah, I think CJ, if you're fearing that you can't move back up to get him, then yeah, you just take the quarterback. You got Davis Mills, dog. We saw it yesterday on the stream how his QBR was like one of the worst in the entire league. Like it was worse than Kyler Murray, which is saying something. Hi, Corey. But Corey is saying AR-15, which he doesn't like that nickname. Julian just said they reported it. Okay. Shout out to LZ. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see here. Apparently Anthony Richardson is in the mix for the Colts. Oh, Lombardi. Wish I was here for that package trade go down. Oh man, I came off a flight, fresh off a flight Monday night, Lombardi. I was hoping you was gonna pull up because it was an impromptu stream. I wasn't planning on streaming Monday night because I was, coming back from the West Coast. But as soon as I landed, I see Schefter. Maybe this is what LZ was talking about. I see Schefter saying something. Can't put the sound on. All right, so is Schefter gonna? This is Schefter's night. Let's see. Is he gonna report it and then tweet it? Okay. Oh, the Texans? The Arizona Cardinals have traded the number 3 overall pick to the Texans. Wow. This is amazing. Okay. The Cardinals have traded a number 3 overall pick to the Texans. Will Anderson? Is that where we going? Is that where we going? A little back-to-back? Whew. So now the Cardinals move down to 12? Is that what we're doing? If we have Houston here, we got some stuff happening. Love it. Let me get my other little marker. I got my own little telestrator. Let's go. So if Houston is now here as well, so then that means Arizona has to be going to 12. Arizona has to be going Will Anderson here, right? Has to be. That has to be the play. I'm thinking that. Let me just move this down a little bit so y'all can see a little bit more of it. All right, so when I get the telestrator out. Savvy, very savvy. D'Amico Ryans is not for play. Cardinals move down to 12, we assume. Texans move up from 12 to 3. That means you walk away with potentially CJ Stroud and Will Anderson. That is a move. We like that. No one talked about it. No one had any tea about it. Everyone was saying Tennessee, maybe the Raiders, maybe even Atlanta. There was a lot of smoke about these other teams. The Houston Texans jump up from 12 to 3 to have back-to-back picks 2 and 3. 2, CJ Stroud, waiting on number 3. Really strong move. Love it. Corey tapping in, letting us know. Yep. The homie Greg Larnard, ESPN Radio in Tennessee. The pick is in for the 3rd pick for the Houston Texans. Thomas thinks it's going to be Will Anderson. I agree. We are about to find out. Lombardi jumping in with Jalen Carter. Okay, we shall see. Alexandra, I do not think Anthony Richardson goes to the Colts simply because he is not Jim Irsay's kind of QB, and we all know what that kind of QB means, right? Yep. Only Jacoby Brissett was able to. All right. Let's see. I'm going to ignore the chat because I'm pretty sure y'all are probably slightly ahead of me. I want to find this out in real time. Let's see what the stream says. Will Anderson is the pick. Boom. What a swing by the Houston Texans. What a swing. Masterful. Masterful job. Now, again, I'm still not the biggest Will Anderson on the edge guy. But in terms of you go get your QB and you go and you get Will Anderson to be your anchor off the edge, I like it. I like it a lot. In terms of culture shifting, you have your new franchise QB and you have your potential new franchise player on that defense. Here for it, here for it, here for it. Great stuff there. The homie Greg Larned is in the chat. He will be joining us at some point as we get closer. He'll be in the mix. We'll bring him up here on the screen and all that fancy shit. It'll be dope. He's tapped in with the Titans and he's tapped in with the Falcons. That has to be a huge blow to the Titans, Greg. Huge blow to the Titans. They would have had to give up a lot to get from 3 to get to 3 from 11, but still. Lombardi Leap, you should be happy to know. Greg is also a fellow Packer fan. So Packers may get JSN now. We'll see about that. We'll be here to find out. The draft board is shaping up in a pretty weird way. Because now, if we're to look at this, in real time, CJ Stroud. We have Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson. The Colts are on the clock, just under coming up on 5 minutes left for them. Do they do Will Levis or Anthony Richardson here? It has to be a quarterback. Has to be a quarterback. Just will it be Will Levis or will it be Anthony Richardson? Seattle has to be butthurt because they were hoping and wishing and praying Will Anderson would fall to them at 5. But now does this pick come in play for teams that want Jalen Carter? Or is this pick in play for teams that want Paris Johnson? These picks now, 5, 6, get in play. Are the Raiders trying to move up to 4? In theory, if the Raiders sit tight, they could get a QB at 7. If they sit tight, they could get a QB at 7, assuming there's no other deals. Alexandra likes to move. Nice move by the Texans. Yeah, Greg's asking the same question I'm asking. Which QB does Indy go with? I would go Anthony Richardson. That's a good point. Thomas and Alexander make it the same point. Ryan's an Alabama alum. Yep. So he would know. Let's see. Lombardi Leave. There you go. Tap in with Greg, man. He's on ESPN Radio out there in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He finds a way to make sure to give you some Packers talk as well, even though he's financially obligated to break down Titans and Falcons and so on and so forth. But he finds a way to get some Packers talk in as well. So tap in with him. Greg appreciates JSN. Yep, as they should. Lombardi's got his money on Levis. Okay, Will Levis to the Colts. I think that's been the consensus, and I think Alexander made the point earlier. Anthony Richardson not necessarily a Jim Irsay guy. Make of that what you will. Jacoby Brissett, the outlier. Let's see. Alexander saying JSN might go to Tennessee or Nolan Smith. That'll be a little high for Nolan, wouldn't it? A little high for Nolan. We had a mock on the earlier stream that had Nolan Smith at the end of the first round. So I don't know. Alexandra got her money on Will Levis. Okay, so we got 2 for Will Levis with the Colts. The pick is in for the Colts. Let's find out. Greg saying maybe Tennessee trades with someone else to move up. It's going to be a tough spot. I don't know who they trade up with. Greg says he's right with me on Anthony Richardson. Yeah, I would take Anthony Richardson here. Alexandra, they don't get Anthony Richardson in Indy. No one to help fix his mechanics. Okay. That's a fair point. If they would have kept Jim Caldwell in-house instead of unjustly letting them go, then maybe they would have. All right, the pick is in. Godell is walking up to the stage. Let's all find out. Will Levis or Anthony Richardson? With the 4th pick, the Indianapolis select Woo! They did it. Let's go. Anthony Richardson is the pick. AR goes to Indy. Jim Irsay going against the grain. Anthony Richardson, number 4 overall. Let's go. Lucas Oil, you got yourselves a good one. AR-15, even though he doesn't like the nickname, we'll see what the number is. Anthony Richardson, maybe AR-4, since he's the 4th pick. AR-4 goes to the Colts. I like it. I like it a lot. You put him with Pittman. You put him with Jonathan Taylor. I like it. They still have some remnants of the old line that was really good not that long ago. I like it. I like it a lot. Man, does he start next year? Do you throw him to the Wolves? That's the next thing. Again, Dominique Foxworth said Anthony Richardson is the best prospect, the best quarterback prospect in this entire draft. The fact that the Colts get him as the 3rd QB off the board, we could look at this a few years from now and say, what the fuck? How did this happen? So it's pretty interesting. I love it. I had to study Anthony Richardson. He was only in my peripheral during this college football season. But now, after the last month and change of like studying him and watching him and listening to people that I trust talk about him, I'm sold. He's him. Again, the point that Dominique Foxworth brought up, when's the last time we had a super athlete at quarterback be a bust? And we had to think long and hard about it, pause, and the only name we could come up with, and even that's debatable, is Vince Young. It's the only name we could think of as a super athletic, superior athlete quarterback be a bust. The only one we came up with on the earlier stream today was Vince Young. And even that is a stretch. Vince Young wasn't a bust per se. He just wasn't that great for a long time. And they have him here. They have Anthony Richardson comparing him to Donovan McNabb. That's a horrible comparison. That is a horrible comparison. That is bad. How can you... Donovan McNabb was never the athlete that Anthony Richardson is. He was an athlete for his time, but he was nowhere near as athletic as Anthony Richardson. I think that's a disgusting, lazy comparison. I don't get that at all. Corey's bringing up Tebow. Tebow was nowhere near as athletic. Stop. Tebow was not a super athlete. Nope. Not rolling. And there's some people that still debate that Tim Tebow wasn't a bust. If you even want to keep it a buck. I mean, I wouldn't say that, but Tebow has his fans that say he wasn't a bust, won the playoff game, da da da. Like there's some people that feel that he was shortchanged in the league, but he was not a super athlete. So that now is interesting. Okay, so Bryce Young. Okay, we can kind of. Do we want to change this on the fly? Maybe we'll come off the screen here. Change this on the fly. Yep. We talked about Jamarcus, but he was an athlete though. He wasn't really an athlete. He was a big dude. Like I'll ask Thomas. He's the LSU guy. Thomas, do you think Jamarcus Russell was as athletic as Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, Michael Vick? Like, I don't remember Jamarcus being that. He was a big dude, so he was hard to break down, so he could scramble a little bit. But I would not consider Jamarcus Russell super athletic. Like, we're talking about Lamar, Vick, Kyler Murray. We're talking about that type of athlete, not just a big dude that's hard to bring down. Because if that's the case, we could talk about like Steve McNair. All right, let me see. What was I going to look up? We were going to change the order here, get that lined up. Are they going to update this on the fly? No, they are not. Okay, go back. All right, so we're trying to keep up with everything. Adam Schefter is this is his night. Okay, so we had the trade details for the Arizona deal. So Arizona moves back to 12. So they do get the pick that we were talking about. They do get that 12th pick. They get an extra second round pick, the 33rd pick. Okay, just let me get my windows set up. Oh, damn, didn't mean to do all that. My bad. All right, so they get this pick. So now they have back-to-back picks. Woo! Okay, so Arizona now gets back-to-back picks in the second round, top of the second round. They get a future 2024 first and a future third pick in next year's draft. That's a really good trade for Arizona. That's a really good trade for Arizona. And a really good trade for Houston. So it's the rare trade that kind of works out for both sides. I see where both sides get fair value here. And that's something where we always get trades and they're offered and it's like it works really well for one team. And then on the other side, you're like, well, why the hell would that team do that? This is an actual deal that you can justifiably say works for both sides. The four-letter network is in the commercial, but the Seahawks pick is in. Seahawks pick is in. Thomas tapping in. No, really, not really. I don't look at Jamarcus like that. Culpepper was more athletic. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And even Culpepper wasn't even that much of an athlete. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't put Jamarcus in that. Okay, let's get some reaction for the Anthony Richardson pick. Lombardi Leap, good for Anthony Richardson. Word, that's great. I still would have loved the ultimate chaos scenario of him going number one and then being under Jim Caldwell, but Indy at 4 with some weapons in place. Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor. I'm okay with it. Corey, solid pick. If they help him, well, he's got help. He's got a... Well, I'll ask y'all, is Michael Pittman a true number one or is he just a default number one? I'm more leaning towards default number one, but that's good enough for right now. Alexandra, I'm shocked that Jim Irsay did that because that's not typically him. However, my only criticism on it is who do they have to fix his mechanics? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. We'll do a deep dive on who's on that staff to see if there's anybody that's a QB whisperer type on that roster. Tommy's 3 out of 4 SEC. Let's go. He's a big LSU guy, so he's repping the SEC there. Alexander McNair, I feel, was underrated as a QB. No, that's facts. That's facts, though. He's underrated in a lot of things. He's underrated when we have this dual threat mobile QB conversation. He's underrated there. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, Corey likes Pittman as a number one, so a true number one. Okay, okay. Thomas saying the Colts have a decent D line too. Okay, that's facts. All right, the Colts. No, the Seahawks are making the pick, and it is Devin Witherspoon. Devin Witherspoon at 5. Jalen Carter was there. And they go Devin Witherspoon at 5. Whew. Is that the first reach of the night? Is that a reach? Wow. He was supposed to be the second DB off the board. Now, not only is he the first DB, but he's taken 5th overall. Now, I liked him like in that 7 to 10 range. At 5th to Seattle, they trying to run the LOB back. They're trying to bring back LOB. I don't remember no top 5 picks on that, on the LOB, but okay. Passing up on Jalen Carter. Keep an eye on that. Jalen Carter is still out here. So now, as we project, Detroit is on the clock. Does Detroit pair Jalen Carter with Hutchinson on that D-line? Or does Detroit go DB and go Gonzalez here because they moved on from Okuda? The Raiders are sitting in a good spot to just sit there and get Will Levis at 7. Does Will Levis go 7 to the Raiders? All right, let me try to freestyle some of this stuff on the fly here. So now we have Will Anderson at 5. He was 3. So 4, we have updating this stuff here on the fly. Oh, that's not going to fit. All right. AR-15. We'll just do A. Richardson. Y'all know who it is. All right. Got that. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with this all night, but we'll see. D. Witherspoon. Number 5. And we'll see who goes at 6. All right. We'll see how long I can keep up with that. All right. So let's get back to the chat. Warren Moon was pretty athletic too, just very bad organization. Did he run a lot? I don't remember Warren Moon running a lot. I'm sure he scrambled, maybe in the CFL. CFL, okay, you know what? You're right, Alexander. CFL Warren Moon, he was running around a lot. And I don't know if the Houston Texans were that bad of an organization. They had some good teams. They just could never get over the hump. I don't know if that's an indictment of the organization. I mean, they had a gimmick offense. There was only so far they can go with that gimmick offense. Run and shoot. Here's Thomas chiming in. Moon had to go to the CFL, but that's another story. That's facts. That's facts. Alexander Witherspoon is a great pick in Seattle. Okay. I'm a little surprised they passed on Jalen Carter. And it's Alexander saying it's the off the field issue with Jalen Carter. I mean, it's really just the one, right? Like, okay, he was part of a deadly, reckless driving incident that. Oh, we have movement. We have movement. Greg is saying we got movement. All right, let's see. Cardinals are moving back up to 6. That's got to be Paris Johnson. Arizona is trading up to 6. Okay. So to me, that screams Paris Johnson Jr. Kyler Murray still gets what he wants. That's my early pick. That's my early feel on this. Paris Johnson Jr. at 6. Now, what did they have to give up? They just got an extra first next year and an extra second this year. Did they have to leverage that to move back up from 12? I would say this pick has to be Paris Johnson Jr. And if they do this, if they're able to get this off, that tells you that Steve Keim is no longer in that building because he could not get this off. He could not be this adept at improving this team if this is where they go. If they could go from 3 to 12, collect the extra first and the extra second, leverage 1 or 2 of those picks to move back up to 6, that to me would be a masterful move if they still get Paris Johnson. If Paris Johnson is the pick, I'm rolling. Because Kyler Murray is begging them to get Paris Johnson. Kyler Murray has been on record begging for Paris Johnson Jr. So let's see. And I'll finish the Jalen Johnson point in a second. As now, if they go Jalen Johnson here, I'll tell you what, if you're a Bears fan, Jalen Carter is falling. He could be there. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The pick is in. Let's see who it is. I'm going Paris Johnson Jr. Let's see if Kyler Murray gets his way and gets some help. Greg is saying Johnson or Broderick Jones. Okay, I can see Broderick. What's the compensation? So they get the 12th pick and the second pick this year, number 34. Okay, so they're giving up their own second. So Arizona's giving up their own second since they now got the Houston second to leverage with the pick swap of going from 12 to 6. Okay, so all they really gave up is just the extra second they just picked up. Arizona is moving and shaking. I love it. I'm hoping this pick is Paris Johnson. If your franchise QB who you're paying 170 plus million says, go get this offensive lineman for me after you rebuffed him the last 2-3 years, some point someone should listen to him. Will they listen to him? With the 6th pick, the Arizona Cardinals select Paris Johnson Jr. Kyler Murray, who's probably playing COD somewhere, somebody hit him on the PS5 and let him know you finally got your tackle. Let Kyler Murray know who's playing COD right now. Whoever's playing COD, break in and tell him over the headset, you got your offensive lineman. Corey saying you can't take a cornerback that high in terms of Witherspoon. I mean, I have my thoughts, but I think right now it's kind of problematic. I get it, but then I don't get it. You know what? I don't get it. I don't know how you pass on Jalen Carter at 5, but we shall see. So we got Paris to AZ at 6. I don't know if all that's going to fit, but let's see. So for anyone who's just pulling up, Trying to get up to speed. This is where we at. Yeah, that's probably not going to fit. Let me see. Could do all this thanks to Ecamm Live. Shrink it a little bit. There we go. All right, so there we go. Now we have the Las Vegas Raiders on the clock at 7. Raiders are on the clock. Is this Will Levis? Is it time for Will Levis? Oh, yeah, to get to the Jalen Carter point, I think ultimately he had the one issue with the reckless driving that unfortunately killed a teammate and killed a team staffer. Before that, there was no off-the-field issues. And yes, he had a horrible pro day and he hasn't looked the same. I think that's grief. I don't think he's a bad football player all of a sudden, because when you pop that tape and then you watch the film, he flashes everywhere. With a D-line that had Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter was the one that flashed, not Jordan Davis. So to me, it's hard to pass on Jalen Carter when I'm there at 5 for a corner. I know there's a higher priority on corners because this league is such a passing league, but we've seen it too many times where defensive linemen can be game wreckers. How many DBs are actual game wreckers? I can name way more defensive linemen that are game wreckers on good teams than just good Revis Island type corners. So I don't know if I like that value of a pick at 5. But I guess they figured we had a dominant defense that was anchored by our secondary once. Maybe if Jamal Adams could ever be healthy. I don't know. Seattle's in a weird spot there. Alexander, his attitude of not wanting to talk to teams outside the top 10, the accident, is showing up at pro day, looking like hot garbage, hurt Jalen Carter. I think 2 out of the 3 makes sense. I think the accident and not showing up at his pro day. I don't think not willing to talk to teams outside the top 10. Deion did the same thing. It didn't hurt him. He knew he was going top 10. So why am I going to talk to you? That's the famous story where the Giants gave him some sort of, I don't think it was the Wonderlic, but they had some sort of psych eval test. And he was like, what pick do you have? And it was like in the teens. He was like, oh, I won't be there. And he walked out. So, didn't hurt his stock. He still got picked in the top 10. Falcons had no problem still taking him. So I don't think that should hurt him. But if you want to give me the Jalen Carter stuff about obviously the incident that involved the death of two people, if you want to give me the pro day stuff and him not looking great, sure. I really think that's grief. I really do. Because we had no signs of him being lethargic, being out of shape, whatever the case may be, prior to that. But then you're involved in a reckless driving incident. You get arrested. Your name is everywhere. TMZ's pulling up on you. You have to deal with the death of a teammate and your responsibility in that. The death of a team staffer and your responsibility in that. I think that's grief. I could be, being soft here, pause, but I really feel that's more in line with him dealing with the grief of I killed one of my teammates, or I was in partly responsible to keep it safe. I was partly responsible for the death of one of my teammates and someone on the team that I knew. I think it's grief. The pick is in for the Raiders. Is this Will Levis? Do they have their QB? The fact that they didn't have to move up, the Raiders have to feel good about that if they really do go QB. They could go sleeper here and go Gonzalez. I think they go QB here, though. Lombardi, JC not talking to teams outside of the top 10 was pretty arrogant, to be honest, and a bit of a turnoff. I mean, that's fine. But, players have done that. Like, that's, Corey gets a start. Let's protect Kyler. Okay. Hey, he's on COD, so hit him up. Let him know he has an offensive lineman. After getting turned down 3 years in a row, he finally gets the GM of his team to give him some backside protection. Pause. Alexander likes to pick. I mean, arguably the best tackle in the draft. Let's see. What do the Raiders do? Is this Will Levis? It's interesting. I'm not seeing a lot of people tipping picks this year. Let's see. Where is Rappaport? Let's get that in a new tab. I can get that in a new tab. All right. Raiders fans look hype. They getting turned up. They just turned up for Will Levis. They just turned up for Will Levis. Will they continue to be this turned up if it's not Will Levis? If it's Gonzalez, the DB? The Raider cheerleaders, or at least women dressed like Raider cheerleaders, are in the house. I don't think they would have the actual Raider cheerleaders amongst the fans like that. At least I hope not for their sake. Dangerous situation. All right, the pick is in. Goodell's walking up. Let's see what we got. I'm thinking Will Levis here. It makes the most sense, but again, this is the Raiders. This could be Ferrell all over again. Let's see if the Raiders trick this off. Raj is at the podium. With the 7th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select Tyree Wilson, edge rusher. Oh, Will Levis to the Titans? Whoa. Tyree Wilson. Is this another Ferrell reach? I like Wilson, though. I won't hold you. Edge rusher. I actually like Wilson as an edge rusher more than Will Anderson. I know that's blasphemous for most people, but I actually I think his size and his skill set and just his motor, and I know that those are like just terms people say, but I actually like how he projects at this level as an every down lineman better than Will Anderson. So Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech is the pick. The Raiders. Ooh. All right, Greg, your Falcons are on the clock. Will Levis? I know they gave all that lip service about Desmond Ridder, but he only started 4 games. Will Levis is going to slide. Will Levis has to be hurting right now. Okay, you see here from Rappaport, the Raiders are comfortable with this healing foot, not concerned about the foot injury. I haven't really heard too many people bring that even up as a thing, but he puts it out there anyway. All right, Schefter. Schefter don't got nothing, so no trades, nothing happening. And here's the trade details for that Arizona move to go up there and get Paris Johnson. It's a pick swap, so the Lions move down to 12. They get an extra 2nd-round pick, and what is that, a 4th? 168th. Where is that? 168th. It's a 5th, an extra 5th. Okay. All right, so there it is. Let's see. Dove got anything? Woo! Let's go, G. I tried to tell you, G. Oh, he's pulling up. Greg is in here. Let's see if we can get Greg pulled up here. Oh, this is perfect. He needs to get in here. Let's see. Let me get this figured out. Greg is going to pull up. He's going to be our guest on this segment. I'm getting him aligned. We want to put him in as a guest. Okay, so where is that at? Assign to guest 1. Hang on, we're getting Greg up here. Greg, you hung up? Greg must have hung up. I had him here, but then we lost him. Hey, G, call back. I see Alex is here. How you doing, Alex? We got Alex and Alexandra in here. All right, here we go. We got him again. Greg is back. Guest 1. Okay, I'm not seeing your video, Greg. You have your video on? I'm going to try to get you up here. Because right here on this screen says the Falcons are taking Bijan. Let's see if we could get Greg in here. Yeah, Greg, not seeing your video. Let's put that there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, G, not sure what's happening. I'm not able to see your video. I don't know if you're doing the phone, but we're trying to get you up here, bruh. All right, he dropped again. Okay. His video's not showing up for some reason. He was active in the chat. The plan was to get him up here for when the Falcons are on the clock, but as it appears, Dove is breaking this super hella early. Bijan, so much for Corey's sources. The Falcons are selecting Bijan Robinson at 8. So much for all the people that was saying running backs are devalued, da-da-da-da. Eagles at 10, da-da-da-da-da. Sorry, Thomas. Now you got to deal with Bijan twice a year, bruh. Twice a year. Alex pulling up. Thank you, Alex. How you doing? All good. All good. Appreciate you. Appreciate the dislikes. It's all good. Belichick waiting for Will Levis. That would be hilarious, Lombardi. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Alex saying she actually agrees with me on Wilson. I mean, don't say actually. We agree on a lot of things, Alex. Don't make it seem like, damn, do you often disagree with me? Is that where we at? All right, we're trying to get Greg up here. Looking like Bijan to the Falcons. Let's see. We're trying to get Greg up here. I have him connected, but Greg, I cannot see your video for some reason. Not sure what's going on with your video. Are you on the phone or the laptop? Lombardi, RIP to my bold prediction. Glad he went high. Yeah, look, I think Bijan is one of those guys, man. Bijan is a special talent. And the fact that Bijan can go, all right, look at they got some kids here announcing the pick. Look, and I was literally talking with Greg yesterday after I came on this show on Wednesday. And I said, look, man, I think the Falcons would be crazy to not take Bijan. All right, bear with me. I'm trying to get Greg up here so he could tap in. And it looks as though he's connected, but I'm just not able to see his video. So a little unsure as to why that's the case, but we were trying to get him on. Maybe it's a chat night, Greg. I'm not sure what's up with the camera, bruh. I tested it earlier. It should be fine. I was able to call in with my phone. I'm not sure. drop that one. There is the pick, Bijan Robinson to the Atlanta Falcons. There it is. Great move. Absolutely great move. Desmond Ridder with Drake London, with Cal Pitts off injury. And now you add that backfield, Algiers. Cool story, bro. Cordero Patterson. Cool story, bro. Bijan Robinson at 8. Now the Falcons offense is cooking. Now I don't mind them sticking with Desmond Ridder because now you can't trick that off. Or can you? Desmond Ridder, you can't trick that one off. They have given you everything imaginable. You have a number 1 receiver. You have a number 1 tight end. And now you have a dynamic running back. Like this move for the Falcons. We're trying to get Greg straightened out. He's saying he's seeing an error. I'm not sure where that's coming in from. He should not be seeing an error. Let me reboot that. This worked earlier, so I'm not sure. I did some testing. Not sure. But, hey, look, for the Falcons, I think this is something where it's a really good move. The offense looks to be really impressive now. Desmond Ridder, 3rd round QB, he has a chance. He's been given a chance to succeed. If Pitts can come back healthy, if we can have Drake London continue to ascend, and now you bring in Bijan. Hey, these teams in the South, man, AFC South and the NFC South, they are making it happen tonight. AFC South and NFC South, they are making it happen tonight. Alexandra Bijan, I told people he wasn't going to go low in the draft. I mean, he doesn't deserve to go low in the draft. Alex, I didn't see Bijan outside the top 10. Alex, I'm just messing with you. Okay, all right, salute. All right, just making sure. Thomas is a Saints fan, y'all, so he is he's feeling this right now. He is not feeling this. I love this move for the Falcons. Absolutely love it. Yeah, that's for sure. Tom is saying his team's going to get some defense. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Alex, at least they are trying to get rid of some help. Yeah, that's facts, man. That's absolute. Like there's no other way to if you're going to have a QB and have him in the 3rd round and give him the keys, he's a 3rd round QB for a reason, right? So you're going to have to surround him with help. And Drake London and Cal Pitts is one thing. But being able to go and bring Bijan to have in the backfield, Algiers was a nice back, serviceable. He's not a game breaker or a game changer. Then you have, Cordell Patterson, who's a veteran. You can do some things with him as a wide receiver, special teams, as a returner, whatever, that's fine. But he's not that guy. Bijan is a special player, or he projects to be. Again, all this stuff is projections, right? There's going to be bust in this draft, right? Not all 31 picks are going to be amazing, okay? Some of these picks, they're going to be wrong. But Bijan, in my opinion, doesn't seem to be that guy. Lombardi, Eagles trade. Uh-oh. Are they trying to get ahead of the Bears? Woo! Oh, Dove is breaking trades. He's not waiting. He's not waiting. With the 9th pick overall. So the Eagles and the Bears made a deal. The Bears passed on Jalen Carter. And y'all wonder why I'm not a fan no more. The Bears decided to move back so the Eagles could get Jalen Carter. And they did that for a 4th round pick next year and the 100th pick and the 11th pick. No, the 10th pick. So they moved back one spot just to collect the 4th. They did a pick swap just to get an extra 4th. They gave up the chance to draft Jalen Carter, and all they got for it was a 4th. You're going to allow the Eagles to potentially pair on a line Riddick, Cox, Davis, and Carter just because you wanted an extra 4th? That's a very suspect trade. I don't like that. I am so glad I'm no longer a Chicago Bear fan. That is a sus deal. You move one spot back just to collect the 4th? That's all that was on your little draft, that draft compensation sheet? To move back one spot, the only compensation is a 4th? It's a 4th or a 3rd? Wow. I don't know, man. Pick is in. Jalen Carter to the Eagles, 9th overall. Eagles are going to be strong again. Alex, wow, that's done for the Bears. Hey, as a childhood, teenage, and young adulthood fan of the Bears, I'm used to that. I expect nothing less. They changed the regime. They got a young GM in there. He is a melanated GM, but this move reeks of prior Bears regimes. Corey, Eagles draft back-to-back defensive tackles. This is why they play for Super Bowls. Yeah, we are all about the trenches on this side. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. I was wondering if this would happen. I assumed this would happen at 10 naturally. If Paris Johnson fell to the Bears, I think the Bears would have went with Paris over Jalen. But the fact that Paris was off the board and they still had a chance to take Jalen and they moved back. They moved back for who? JSN? If they go JSN, I'll absolve them. If they go JSN at 10, I will absolve them. If you're telling me the Bears moved back, collected an extra 4th because they wanted Jackson Smith and Jigba, I'll fall back. I'll walk back everything I just said. But if that's not the case, always going to be open season on the team of my youth, the Chicago Bears. Greg, unfortunately, is back in the chat. Sorry, we couldn't work that out, Jay. I don't know what happened. I tested it earlier. But I did call it. Me and him had a conversation literally Wednesday afternoon after I was on his show on ESPN Radio out there in Chattanooga, Tennessee for Bijan to the Falcons. Alex, NFC South definitely looking interesting for sure. Yeah, it's that division is shaping up nicely. And remember, they have the easiest schedule as of right now. They are the projected strength of schedule. The entire NFC South has the weakest schedule this upcoming year. Alex, Dallas done lost to NFC East this year. Corey, your thoughts? I mean, I don't think they ever had it. The Bears, the pick is in. Is this JSN? Jackson Smith and Jigba, pair him with DJ Moore, pair him with Chase Claypool. Cole Kmet. Is this Jackson Smith and Jigba? Pick is in for the Bears. They're going to kill some time. by doing a Jalen Carter interview. But that's where we're at with it. Lombardi knows all about this. Bears are a sad organization. Yeah. During my lifetime, they certainly have been. Thomas, Eagles trying to go back to the Super Bowl. That's facts. That's facts. Super Bowls are won on draft day. Alex, what was the point of doing the Moore deal and then not getting Carter? I think it has to be JSN. They're going to add yet another weapon for Justin Fields. At least that's my perspective. It's possible they could still go O-line here. It's possible. But I don't know why you wouldn't just take your, I guess collecting an extra fourth just because the guy you want is still going to be there, I guess. But interesting. Uh-oh. I was hoping to find out. Oh, not even JSN. The Bears are selecting Darnell Wright. It's not even Broderick. Oh boy. That's going to be a hard sell, man. Darnell Wright better be him. He better be Himothy. Because this is going to be a hard sell. JSN was right there. And that was the one thing in the back of my mind once the Bears traded down. I said, well, look, they could give another weapon to Justin Fields with JSN. Darnell Wright? All right. The Bears fan in me from, my teens needs to know. It's the fourth rated offensive tackle. They didn't go Skronsky. They didn't go Broderick. They went Darnell Wright, 6'5", 333, as the 10th pick overall. The Bears will always bear. He could be great. It doesn't project to be great. And there it is officially. Roger Goodell announces the pick. Darnell Wright, offensive tackle out of Tennessee. Man, when you have JSN right there, that is extremely difficult to pass up. It's extremely difficult to pass up. He looks the part. He's a big dude. He's out there in Knoxville, Tennessee. Hey, Greg, what's the scouting report on our guy, Darnell Wright? They're doing a little fancy package on Darnell right now. Let me get caught up with the chat here. Lombardi, well, that pick is something. Yeah, see? Again, the Packers fans just understand. Even without Aaron Rodgers, they always can rest assured knowing that the Bears are always going to bear. It's almost that they have taken the lion spot. No, we do not want to do a software update. Who asked for that? That was weird. Corey, Eagles should win a division. Hard to score on a team that controls the middle. Yeah. They're showing a good montage. Look, he was projected to go in the teens. So you could argue that 10 might be a bit of a reach, but they're showing his highlight film here. He's definitely pancaking some dudes. He can get out there. He's got some athleticism. He's running a 40 here. He's moving. He ran a 5.40, a 5-second flat 40. He's got the good choppy feet. So, it just, when you see Smith and Jigba sitting there at 10, knowing he's soon to go, like this is now JSN time. The Titans pick is in. Is it Will Levis? Is Will Levis going to be a Tennessee Titan? Lombardi leap, JSN is so close. It looked like y'all going to get him if the Titans go with, oh no. Who's at 12 again? It's not the Cardinals. It's, It's hard to keep up with these trades. We got to figure out who's going. We have to keep up with who's going 12. Greg, one of the biggest jumpers in this draft class. Okay. His Vols guy loves right. Okay. All right. He hasn't allowed a sack in 2 years. Okay. So, hey, I mean, it's just a hard sell. It's still a hard sell. You have to have faith that this new regime, Ryan Poles and the Bears, know what they're doing now with a clean house. The Titans pick is in. Oh, thank you, Lombardi. Detroit is 12. Does Detroit, JSN, Jameson, St. Brown, JSN, Jared Goff can't lose at that point, right? Jared Goff can't lose even with that, right? Let's see, does Dove got it? Is he breaking it? Wow, Titans are going O-line. Will Levis continues to slide. The Titans are selecting offensive lineman Peter Skronsky. No Will Levis at 11 for the Titans. Detroit is at 12. Is that a Will Levis spot? QB of the future, learn behind Jared Goff. And we know that sounds laughable, but do you want to learn? If you're the Lions, do you want Jared Goff to train up your guy Will Levis? It's been a great stream. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for pulling up. I appreciate the likes. I think Boogie Down is mad at me because of my Lamar Jackson take from earlier. That's fine. It's all good. If he doesn't like my take on Lamar Jackson, then that's fine. I'm sure he could find plenty of streams that are, loving Lamar and everything. If you just want me to be pro Lamar, no matter what he does, that's not who I am. I don't like the deal. I think he could have got a better deal, but he got the deal that he feels is best for him, his mother, and his family. Salute to Lamar. Okay. Let's see. Alex with the info. Wright was a top 10 overall recruit in the 2019 class and the first team USA Today All-American as a senior at Huntington High School in West Virginia. Okay. Ain't that the same high school Moss and Jason Williams went to? I could be wrong on that. Alex, I'm seeing Levis with Bill Belichick. I don't know if that's good for Will Levis, but yeah, at this point, why not? You got Mac Jones, why not? Lions have Williams and St. Brown. Yeah, but then you have your third receiver be Jackson Smith and Jigba. Overwhelmed. That's the role here. You overwhelm with offense. Thomas Levis is falling hard. Yeah, big facts. I don't know where he goes now. If we're to look, let's see. Let's go back to the order, full order. We're at 12 with this is Detroit. Outside of New England, maybe Washington. Oh, does Tampa? Where's Alexandria? Alexandria, you want Will Levis at 19? Bijan's gone, so you want Will Levis at 19? I don't know where else he goes. Seattle with that 20th pick? Minnesota at 23? Will Levis is tumbling, boy. If he gets past the Patriots, he's tumbling. Patriots, Commanders. You can make a case for the Seahawks or Tampa, but I mean, I don't know. Alex thinks Will Levis is better than Jared Goff. I agree. I got nothing else. Like, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Alexandra will take Will Levis. Okay, Alexandra will take Will Levis at 19. If he's still there at 19 for Tampa Bay, she'll do it. Okay. All right, this stream's been really active tonight. Really, really active tonight. I thank y'all for being here and pulling up. I didn't think a few months ago when I started this stream, I would be doing stuff like this of just, let's just do a whole 4-hour extravaganza of the NFL draft. I never would have thought that. I'm usually working behind the scenes on this type of stuff, but here we go. Uh-oh, Lombardi Leaps heavy in the chat. Uh-oh, let me go ahead and refresh. Something happened. Lions took a running back. Who took the over? A second running back. It was over under 1.5 running backs in the first round. We hit the over 12 picks in. All right. Lombardi and Greg, y'all want JSN? He's there for y'all at 13. Gibbs is the pick for the Lions at 12. Whew. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and get our analysis here. I'm going to have to go down to the second round to find Gibbs. Damn, third round to find Gibbs? He wasn't projected to be first round, was he? Did I miss him in the first round? Oh, there he is. Yeah, he was. Okay. 4.3 speed. Alabama running back. Goes to the Lions. So the Lions replenish their running back room. DeAndre Swift getting older. They just signed David Montgomery, but they still spin the block and get the second rated running back on the board. 5'9", just under 200, out of Bama. He was projected to go 27th to Buffalo on this mock. Instead, in real life, IRL, he goes 12 to the Detroit Lions. Did the Lions just lion? Did the Lions just lion? The Bears bared, although we'll give Wright a chance. Okay. He's got mom there. He's got, is that the girlfriend next to him? That can't be the girlfriend, right? If y'all are watching the Full Edit Network, who that next to Gibbs? Who's that on the right in the green jacket? Unless he like Cougars, no shade. Let's see. Alexandra, we were thinking Max Duggan at 181. Wow. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you have that, if those are the options, then yeah, you gotta take Will Levis here. Or does somebody jump up and take Hendon Hooker? We're getting closer to Hendon Hooker territory. Is it now coming down to Hendon Hooker or Will Levis? Lombardi lead. What, Detroit? Yeah. Alex, I think it's a mistake not taking Levis. There you go. Lombardi lead, please. I'm assuming that means please go get JSN. That's a weird pick for me if I'm the Lions. Yeah, that seems a little weird. They just gave David Montgomery the bag to replace Jamal Williams. They still got DeAndre Swift. Interesting move. Alex, a passer rating of 171 should not still be on the board. I agree with you. Gibbs. Wow. Okay. Corey's even surprised by that. Okay. Greg agrees. The Lions just lioned. Okay. Okay. Greg is pushing for JSN. Here we go. JSN. Alex saying Green Jacket is his girlfriend. Okay. That's very mature makeup she's wearing. I thought that might have been. All right. Let me not say nothing. She just looks a little older. No shade. But just the outfit, I guess. All right. Let's see. Where are we at here? I mean, Dove is tipping picks. I love it. Let's see what else we got. Dove's asking the question, will the Packers finally draft a wide receiver in the first round right after ending the Aaron Rodgers era? It's pretty funny. Two running backs inside the top 15 picks, Bijan Robinson and Gibbs. Doubt anyone saw this coming. Yeah, that's big facts. That is big facts. Lions did the bear move. Yeah, that's facts, Alex. That's real talk. That's real talk right there. At least you can justify the Bears pick more so than the Lions one. Why did they go give David Montgomery a bag if they were going to take a running back in the first round? David Montgomery, so what does that mean? They have 3 running backs. Am I mistaken here? Is Swift not on that roster? I know Jamal Williams left. Let me see. Let me come off the screen for a second here. Maybe I'm mistaken. Greg and Lombardi. Isn't DeAndre Swift still on that roster? Did I miss something in free agency and he's not there? No, he's a Lion. Yeah, I don't know what the hell. I don't know. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what the thinking is there. Will Levis still waiting. They're showing him in the green room. That's a hard night. It's a hard night being that guy. Lamar Jackson was that guy. And all these years later, he finally gets the bag. Funny money bag, but still a bag. Oh boy, we have oh boy. You ready, Lombardi? I don't want to do it to you if you want to wait. You know what? With the 13th pick overall in the 2023 draft, the Green Bay Packers select Yo, Greg and Lombardi, y'all good? Yikes. Did the Packers just pack her? Oh, man. That's rough. That's rough. Hey, maybe the reports that we heard earlier this week about executives not liking this wide receiver class, maybe that was not smoke. A lot of the other stuff that was reported was smoke. The fact that JSN is still here, we're at pick 14. Alex has been very high on Van Ness this entire time. So Van Ness is a monster. Yeah. She's been the one putting us on to Van Ness. I think he's a good player. I think he'll be solid. Again, maybe we're just overestimating how important wide receivers are supposed to be in this draft. Maybe the smoke is not really smoke. Maybe it's reality. Maybe it's reality. Because this right here is very, very interesting to me. To see Lucas Van Ness be the guy off the board. And at 14, Is this Will Levis? The Patriots are now on the clock. Alex Hill have a great defensive presence. Okay. Nah, I respect it. Lombardi's not happy, but he gets the pick. Okay. That is, Was that their biggest need, though? Was D-line their biggest need? Okay, Lombardi saying he was my second pick. Okay. So then then you have to be happy. Then you can't not be happy if he was your second pick. I mean, I know JSN would have been the exciting, splashy, flashy pick. But yeah, here's the thing, right? Like, there's rarely a draft that doesn't have bust. So I just wonder, we're seeing a lot of picks. I'm like, oh, that's a good move. That's a good move. Like in 2-3 years, we're going to be like, oh, that was a bad move. That was a horrible move. So it's just like, all right. Like everything sounds great in the moment. Like, oh yeah, I can see that. And then some moves is like, oof. Like that Lions Gibbs pick. I'm like, oof, I don't know why they would do that. But that could be the pick that goes crazy. That could be the pick that 2 years from now, we're like, oh, that was a steal. We have another trade. Somebody moving up to get your man's Will Levis. Steelers are trading with the Patriots. Okay, so the Steelers are now on the clock. Who are they trying to get here? Should not be Will Levis, right? So they move up from 17 to 14. They move up 3 spots. Is this for Broderick Jones? Are they going O-line? Are they going defensive line? We haven't really gotten a run on anything outside of quarterbacks. We haven't gotten a run on receivers. We haven't gotten a run on linemen. I guess you could say no, we really haven't gotten a run. I was going to say offensive line, but not really. I think once JSN comes off the board, I think all the receivers will come tumbling. I think there'll be a run on receivers, but someone's got to jump out there and take JSN. Do the Jets do it at 15? They were projected to take an offensive lineman, but if the Steelers, who are now on the clock, go offensive line here, and the Jets were going to go offensive line, unless they have another offensive lineman, because Skoronski's gone, Paris Johnson's gone, all the linemen will be gone if the Steelers go Broderick Jones here. So will the Jets go? Will the Jets go JSN? Alexander's saying Joey Porter Jr. That would make sense. The pedigree is there. Okay, so it's not a trade? The 1 minute Dove is saying the Steelers traded with the Patriots, and then now he's saying with the pick, the Patriots are selecting. Oh, so Broderick Jones is the pick, but he's going to be traded to the Pittsburgh. Okay. All right, that's very confusing the way Dove worded it. So the pick is in. Steelers are going to take Broderick Jones with the pick. So now the Jets are on the clock at 15. All the 4 best linemen are gone. Lineman was a need. What's the next need for the Jets? Do they go Joey Porter? Or do they go JSN? Pairing Garrett Wilson with JSN, I think the Jets are going to go JSN. I think the Jets go JSN. There was some smoke earlier in the week about the Jets were really trying to set themselves up to be in position for JSN, to pair him with Garrett Wilson. It would certainly make sense, not just for the years with Aaron Rodgers, but for the years after Aaron Rodgers, assuming that's 1 or 2 years max. Garrett Wilson will still be him in 2 years, and JSN by year 2, he should be a problem. So if that's where you go, I like it. We're coming up to halfway through this first round. It's been a reasonably, it hasn't been a fast first round, but it's been a reasonable first round. We're about an hour 45 in, and we're halfway through. It's not horrible. So that projects to be under 4 hours. We'll see. But I do appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate it. All y'all voices will always be heard here. Salute to y'all in the chat who keep this stream going, who feed me information, and we just have good conversations. So salute to y'all in the chat. Let's see. What are the Jets going to do? Okay, still nothing on the Jets. Okay. Let's move around the TL. Let's see what does Schefter have anything? Let's see. Here's just some anecdotal stuff. By drafting Jalen Carter at 9, Eagles GM Howie Roseman's record remains intact. He never has drafted a running back, a cornerback, a tight end, or a safety in the first round. Never. So these are the positions that he clearly devalues. He's never taken a running back, a cornerback, a tight end, or a safety in the first round. Now, as he mentions here, the next chance to break that streak comes with the 30th pick. We'll see what they do at the 30th pick. But that is an interesting anecdote. Ian Rappaport. Okay, so Rappaport is saying that the Pittsburgh purposefully jumped over the Jets to make sure that they could get Broderick Jones. That's why they made the deal with the Patriots. Okay, makes sense. So now if you're the Jets, do you trade back? If you don't want JSN, do you trade back? What if, all right, so I don't even want to say, it's almost like you can make a case for Will Levis at every point now, right? It's almost like you just say Will Levis' name with every pick. What if they took Will Levis? But you see this right here, this updated mock draft 4 hours ago, they got Will Levis going 16 to Washington. So maybe this mock knew something we didn't, although they had JSN already gone off the board. Alex saying JSN and Rodgers, that would be dope. I would be here for it. Up McShay. McShay is talking his talk. I don't know if this is Jets related. Will Levis could be the guy that falls and ends up having an MVP season. You never know. If he falls to the right team, if he falls to a team that has the weapons in place for him to do what he has to do, why not? I don't have a problem with Will Levis' skill set. I swore he would have been gone by now. I would have definitely assumed he was going to be gone by now. Alexandra, I'm loving that this is not the conventional draft for me. No, I love this. This is chaos. What Houston did at the top still is a game changer. Having the second and third pick. And it's a deal that actually worked out with Arizona being able to go to 12 and then to come back up. To 6 or 7, I believe? Yeah, to 6, because they got Paris. Have we heard from Kyler Murray? Is he still playing COD? Is he still on COD? Lombardi. My gut tells me Packers go all offense in the second round. Okay. They'll have the picks to do it. Multiple picks. And it seems like a lot of skill position players will be available. That's the thing. Like, if JSN's not going in the upper half of the first round, then where does Quentin Johnston go? Where does Zay Flowers go? Where does Jordan Addison go? All those, where does Jalen Hyatt go? All those receivers are now, unless there's a run on the receivers, which is possible, but now all those receivers look to be bottom of the first round, maybe top of the second round guys. If JSN is falling this far, that's just my point of view on it. Dove has nothing new. Dove's got no tweets. What happened? They got Dove off the app? It's a wrap for Dove? Okay, there he is. Nothing new with the Jets pick. The Jets are still technically on the clock. According to my stream, they're almost at 2 minutes left. They're dragging this out. They're probably looking for a trade partner, if I had to guess. Now that the last offensive lineman is gone, in theory, I could see them like trying to figure out if there's a way they could leverage down some picks. Was JSN hurt? Yes, he was hurt, but he was hurt a while ago. He is fully healed as of now. But yeah, he got hurt at Ohio State, and that's why you didn't see him in the college football playoff and all that good stuff. So, but there's no injury concerns, or at least I haven't heard of anyone actually still worried about his injury. His injury from, what was that? It wasn't even last year. It wasn't like the year before. Like, it's a weird thing where he tried to come back when he really didn't have to, and yeah. No word on the Jets yet. The Jets are playing this to the vest. They're going to eat up all this clock. No one's tipping this pick. All right, let's see. Well, maybe Josina. Does Josina have anything? Let's see. Get rid of that, all of that. Wow, just letting all that go. Okay, Josina. Josina tipping picks. Nope, she's not tipping picks. She's keeping it 100 about just the Eagles stuff. Okay, all right, so nothing there. Go back to Dove. All right, the pick is in for the Jets. I guess we're all going to find out together since no one's tipping the pick. Dove don't got it. All right. We'll find out together. Alex, Washington could really use Levis. Like, sorry, Sam Howell is not the guy. And maybe Ron Rivera and Eric B. see something. No, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I can see Will Levis there. It makes sense. Like, you leave Patrick Mahomes, you're really not leaving Patrick Mahomes for no damn Sam Howell. Yeah, the Jets pick is in. I'm not seeing it on the timeline yet. Let's see. Okay. Wow. Jets are going edge rusher Will McDonald. Oof. D-line? Wouldn't have been my pick. That wouldn't have been the position group I would have focused on. If you're telling me there was no offensive tackles worth the 15th pick, okay. Will McDonald, I mean, he's a top 5 edge rusher of this class, but I don't know, 15's high for me for him. Where do they have him here? Where's Will? Oof. Did he even have a first round grade? Oof. Wow. They had him in the second round on this mock draft, 36th overall. Let's see, Will McDonald. Let's see if we can get some analysis. Yeah, they have him. Yeah, he's not even top 5. Yeah, wow, is Nolan Smith and Miles Murphy still on the board, and the Jets go Will McDonald. Miles Murphy. Nolan Smith, I can see why he's still on the board, but Miles Murphy, with the size he has, a little surprised he's still on the board. But Will McDonald is the pick for the Jets. That's interesting, to say the least. He had 2 seasons of double-digit sacks, so he's a 5-year starter, or he's played 5 years. Fell off last year. Fell off a good deal last year. 11 and a half sacks to 5. 6'3" and a half, 240 pounds. He's going to have to put on some weight to me. But, you know, that's interesting. It's an interesting pick here. But Joe Douglas has that pedigree, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm going to have my little snack here while the Jets are asking a child to announce the pick. But we already know the pick because we're on the timeline T. He's taking forever to announce this pick. There he goes. He's trying to get the crowd hype. Oh, he didn't even announce the pick? Yo, this kid's taking forever. I don't have the sound on, so I don't know what the hell he's saying, but he's taking, oh, he's doing the Jets chin and everything. Is this Fireman Ed's kid? Who is this? Will McDonald IV, there it is. We knew about 4 minutes ago, but there it is there, live and direct on the stream. Alexander, you're absolutely right. Still be on the board is a shocker. That is the shocker of the first round. We got through half the picks, and Jackson Smith and Jigba is still on the board. The wide receiver class must be ass, like they try to tell us. They try to tell us that the media, scouts and analysts and trainers, we're putting it out there like the media loves this draft class more than we do. We talked about that on this stream last week. That was a real thing that happened. They love, the media, the blue check boys and girls love this draft class more than us. And this is a case in point where JSN is still out here and we're at pick 16. Lombardi, NFL trade rumors is pretty good. Yeah, that's the thing, man. We keep hearing stuff about this guy's going here, this guy, and then all of a sudden we get some dude we've never up. And the Commanders have passed on Will Levis. The Commanders go corner Emmanuel Forbes with the 16th pick. Will Levis, man, I'm sorry, bro. Well, maybe now. Well, if they go 16th, isn't this now where the Patriots are at? Does Belichick have the balls to do it? Get some competition for your man's Mac Jones with Will Levis breathing down his neck? Man. Corey, was that really Fireman Ed's kid? I was just making a joke. Was that really Fireman Ed's kid? That would be hilarious. Emmanuel Forbes, DB. Mississippi State. Off the board. So let's see where he was at. Forbes, okay, Forbes. Okay, they had him going down at the bottom of the first round to the Eagles, which if they did their homework and they would have read that stat that we heard from Schefter, is that Howie Roseman does not take DBs in the first round. So this mock draft clearly didn't do its homework. and know the draft history. So Emmanuel Forbes, 5th ranked DB. So they passed on. Oh yeah, Gonzalez is still on the board. What's wrong with Gonzalez? I just realized Gonzalez is still. Yeah, that's crazy. Gonzalez is still around. Joey Porter Jr. is still around. And even Deonte Banks. So Washington, if you want to believe this ranking system or not, goes for the 5th ranked DB in his class when the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th ranked guys are still available. Now he's got size on him. He's 6'1". How tall is Banks? Banks is 6 foot. Joey Porter's 6'2". Yeah, that's right. He's got the size. And yeah, I don't know why they're going Forbes. Jump the shortest. Interesting pick here. Interesting pick here from Washington. Pick is in on the 4-letter network, but you already know who the pick is because you're watching TimeLine T. Washington Commanders are selecting Emmanuel Forbes with the 16th pick. That means the 17th pick goes to the New England Patriots. The Patriots are on the clock. Will Levis is tumbling. He is getting closer and closer to Alexandra's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Detroit, with the 18th pick, would be after the Patriots, unless that was involved in one of the earlier deals that I'm missing. Poor Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy left Patrick Mahomes, and he is still stuck with Sam Howell at the moment. Maybe they spin the block with pick 47. Maybe Hendon Hooker is still available. But you have to assume they're going to bring some kind of QB in the mix. 2nd round. I don't know if DTC will be around in the 3rd round. Lombardi, that's a Riverboat Ron pick. Nah, that's facts, though. Yeah. Alexander's getting ready for it. Looks like my Bucks might get a steal on Will Levis. Hey, it's trending that way. I'm gonna go ahead and say unless the Lions lying again with their 2nd first round pick, I think he'll be there at 19. Lombardi, 17-20 for Levis. If not, going to have to wait until tomorrow. Oof. That's a rough one. Let's see. Chargers won't do it. Ravens won't do it. You don't think the Vikings would do it at 23, Lombardi? I mean, allegedly the Vikings were considering in trading Kirk Cousins, allegedly. They had conversations with the 49ers in regards to Trey Lance. So maybe 23? After that, I feel you. Because after that, unless, I don't know if Tom is still here. Thomas, would you take Will Levis at 29? He's a Saints guy. I don't know if he takes Will Levis at 29. But the Vikings at 23, I could see Will Levis being there. And it was definitely smoke about Will Levis and the Vikings a few weeks ago. Although we could almost say that about every QB needy team, that there was smoke between them and Will Levis. But you see what happened when they're actually on the clock. They ain't taking no damn Will Levis. There it is. I just realized he hadn't been taken yet. No Joey Porter Jr. to New England. They take another DB, arguably the second best DB of this draft, Christian Gonzalez with the 17th overall pick. That's amazing. He was once thought to go in the top 10, top 6, top 7, top 8, all the way down to 17. Interesting. But the Patriots go DB, and they go Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. Detroit Lions are on the clock. Let's see what we got here. You guys are great in the chat. I appreciate y'all always being active in the chat, getting your opinions heard. Respect. Alex, Vikings might be a good thing to go to, especially we know you can be the guy after Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I think that's great. And then you know you got a number one in Justin Jefferson. I would be thrilled if I was Will Levis. Thrilled. And, you know, Kirk Cousins, he ain't going to keep getting these fully guaranteed contracts forever, or at least not from Minnesota. I think they're done with him after this last one. So he could walk right in there and have Justin Jefferson. A lot of young QBs would be very jealous. Lombardi pick is in for the Pats. Yep. Christian Gonzalez. Alex likes to pick. Solid pick. Yeah, there's great value. This guy was a top 10 guy. The entire time we've been doing the mock draft stuff and following the mock drafts, he's been a top 10 guy. And ultimately he goes 17. Yeah, like let's see where they have him in this mock we've been using. Yeah, see, he was going 8 here. And this is around the consensus of where he's been. Oh, poor Will Levis. Poor Will Levis is showing him in the green room. Is that Mama Levis next to him, or is that a girlfriend? Is this payback for him eating bananas with the peel on, or putting mayonnaise in his coffee? Is this payback for that? Lombardi, some weird picks. Yeah, this is that area. This is the teens is always where you're either going to reach for someone you really think people are sleeping on, or you take the bona fide guy that's dropped that was supposed to be top 10. I think the Patriots take Christian Gonzalez, a guy that was thought to be top 10. They snatch him up. But then you have, like what Washington did, the pick before, taking arguably the 5th best DB when arguably the 2nd best DB was sitting right there. It's a weird pick. Alexandra, I think Kirk is done after this season. Yeah, his contract's up. It depends. He keeps finding ways to get another 30, 35 million out of him. Fully guaranteed, by the way. Lombardi, no tight end yet either. Yep, no tight ends yet. This could be Michael Mayer territory, though. We're heading into Michael Mayer territory, maybe Kincaid. Okay, Thomas said he would take Levis or Hooker at 29. Okay, so at 29, Thomas is a big Saints guy, so he would take, if he's there, he would take Will Levis. So he might not, well, we'll see. We'll see. Certainly right now we're up to the Lions at pick 18. Miles Murphy's still there. Joey Porter Jr. still there. Will Levis. Deontay Banks still there. Nolan Smith still there. JSN. What a great draft. I will say this has been a really fun draft. Normally the draft is real chalk and kind of status quo, kind of like, you know, I won't say boring, but just very anticlimactic. Okay, thank you, Alexander. That was Levis's mom. I only caught her for a brief second, so I couldn't tell. All right, dope. Man, it's a long night in that green room. It's a long night in that green room. I feel for him. I don't wish that upon nobody. I don't wish that upon nobody. That's very, very shaky. All right, let's see. Do we have anything new? Okay, here we go. The 18th pick. The Lions are selecting linebacker Jack Campbell. I am not familiar, so I'm not going to sit here and try to give you analysis. Jack Campbell at 18. Is this Dan Campbell's kid? Dan Campbell drafting his son? Might be too young, but let's see. Can we find Dan? Can we find what's the first name? Jack Campbell. Okay, can we find Jack Campbell? This might be a reach. Jack Campbell. Okay. Oof. Ahead of Nolan Smith. He's projected to go in the second round. Here he goes at pick number 18 to the Detroit Lions. Didn't really play until his sophomore year. Didn't start anyway until his sophomore year. Junior year, excuse me. Didn't really start till his junior year. Yeah, that's, I don't know. Mel Kiper's best available. Will Levis, Nolan Smith, Zay Flowers, JSN, Dalton Kincaid. Mel Kiper's best available. He has Zay Flowers ahead of JSN, by the way, and Dalton Kincaid ahead of Michael Myers. And also, Nolan Smith is the second best available, and the Lions just took Jack Campbell instead of Nolan Smith. Oh, okay, yeah, that's definitely Will's mom because I see another young lady to his left. Okay, got it. He'll be fine. Will Levis will be fine. Alexander Levis is a really humble guy and has a really great attitude, so I think he'll handle this well. Yeah, he's fine. He'll be all right. Because again, the longer you drop, the more likely you're going to go to a good team, or one of the teams that are not so good are going to trade back up into the end of the first round to go get you. So I think he'll be fine. All right, so the pick is in. The Lions, with their second pick of the first round, are taking Jack Campbell, linebacker, Iowa. That is not going to make these Lion fans turn up. They're turning up right now in anticipation. I think they're just doing it for the cameras, though. But once they hear a guy that had a second round grade going at number 18, they might not be turning up too much longer. Let's see what else we have here. Raj is at the podium. He's doing his Raj stuff. Slow down on the trades. Not a lot of trades. These teams and the teams ain't trying to move around too much. Lions fans are turning up. They have no idea who Jack Campbell is. I guarantee you they have no idea who Jack Campbell is. And they're trying to turn up. Butkus Award winner, William Campbell Trophy winner, which is the academic Heisman. So he's voted the nation's best linebacker. So, you know, Mel Kiper has Nolan Smith out there, but all right, Alexandra, your Bucks are on the clock. This is great. This is great to see. We have someone who is a fan of this team in the chat, on the stream, tapping in. Alexandra, you're on the clock. Is it time to pull the trigger on Will Levis? Does Arians and them do it? Let's see. Let's hop around the timeline a little bit. Let's go to Schefter. Does he have anything? Nope. He's just retweeting Mahomes. Rappaport. Ah, okay. So he clears this up. Lions select at 18, Iowa stud, pause. Linebacker Jack Campbell, no relation to Coach Dan Campbell, who no doubt is happy with his toughness. Okay. All right, we get some analysis here from whoever this guy is, the Owl. I'm assuming these stats are legitimate. Campbell had a stellar combine, which had him rising up draft boards. His 3-cone and short shuttle were the best among linebackers. Campbell has impressive play speed and awareness versus the run and the pass. Okay. I mean, look, he got the Butkus Award, so it's got to be on point. I think it's very hard to. Well, I'll ask y'all, and then I'll chime in with my opinion. Is it harder to project offensive players at this level or defensive players at this level? Which is harder to evaluate? Offensive players outside of quarterbacks, right? Like in terms of linemen, receivers, so on and so forth. Is it harder to project and evaluate offensive players at the next level or defensive players? Lombardi, I thought Detroit was going to be better, but they found a way to somehow not get better. Yeah, it's crazy. Multiple first round picks, and all right, the pick is in for the Bucks. The pick is in. Alex, wow, the Lions keep lioning. Yeah. Alexander, please let them not pull a Vita Vea. I don't think my heart can take a. All right, let's see. I'm going to let Rod say it. So let me come off the screen here because I don't want Dove to ruin it. Let's see. I'll go to Dove first, though. Let's see if he has it. Dove does have it. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I'll wait. Okay, the pick is in. There it is. The next Aaron Donald, they say. Kancey is thought to be a baby Aaron Donald. So no Will Levis at 19 for the Bucks. The Will Levis slide continues, but the Bucks get allegedly a baby Aaron Donald. They're talking about it right now on the thing. They're saying NFL comparison Aaron Donald. Good use of the hands. Yeah, they keep saying everyone keeps saying he's a baby Aaron Donald. So we'll see. .6'1", so he's short or shorter like Aaron Donald. And they're doing a comparison now. There's very much a size comparison. He's a little no, he's about the same. Yeah, everything is the same. A lot of measurables. He doesn't have as long an arm as Aaron Donald, but he looks the part. He fits the mold, and that's where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go. Corey, he went to Iowa. I don't know. Yeah, Jack Campbell. I don't know, man. Alex saying defensive in my mind. Alexandria, defensive players. Well, you got your wish. Corey's answering the question. Harder to project defensive players. The game is so much different at the pro level. Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of where my head is at. I think in terms of offensive players, you kind of know it when you see it. But with defense, because of different schemes, and because like in offense, let's keep it a buck with offense, right? In theory, there's a lot of different systems, but in totality, there really isn't. Especially today. Everyone does 3 wide, 4 wide. Everyone does some version of a RPO. Everyone has a wildcat package. Like the schemes are more or less the same. There's still some teams that use West Coast offense fundamentals. Like the frameworks are more or less the same. As opposed to defensive schemes, to me, it's a little hard to see how someone is used in college because you don't know, was he good because of this scheme? Or is he just good no matter the scheme? I think it's easier to make that difference or to tell that difference with offensive players than defensive players. Because you could have, that's why to me, like the Will Anderson thing kind of, I don't know. I don't see Myles Garrett. I don't see a Bosa, either one. I don't see that with Will Anderson, yet everyone kept telling me, no, you have to take him. He's the best edge rusher. And I'm like, I don't see that. Normally that pops off the screen, but I haven't seen that with Will Anderson. Corey Vita Vea was a great pick, by the way. I agree, but Alexandra definitely has a thing against Vita Vea. That is always her reference point. Vita Vea did turn out to be great. Alexandra, for me, I draft need, not because it's the next Aaron Donald. Okay, so you're not in on this pick. You're not in on this pick. Seattle is back on the clock, by the way. Seattle back on the clock. And here they go with the baby Aaron Donald stuff. Aaron Donald, 6'1", 285. Kancey, 6'1", 281. Nearly identical times in the 40. And as I mentioned, the arm length, Aaron Donald's arms are slightly longer. And to be quite honest, that's probably the biggest difference because that's the real strength of Aaron Donald's game. It's his arm length and the way that he sheds people because of his arms. So we'll see if Kancey can negate that 2-inch difference. Alexandra's not here for it. She's not here for it. She doesn't want baby Aaron Donald. Schefter is doing a lot of talking. The OG Chris Mortensen is next to him. Let's see. Are they reporting on the deal or an alleged deal? Let me see. Let's go to Schefter. Nope. He's done nothing. Let's go back to Dove. Jordan Schultz. He's normally all right at this time of the night. Let's see. Nope. He doesn't have anything. All right. That's a bust. Let's see. I got Ari. Okay. Like you're saying, Tampa loves the defensive line and keep adding to it. That is the analysis. They're trying to build something similar to Philly. Maybe y'all trying to have that little Philly thing of all them defensive linemen. The Seahawks are eating up all this clock. About 30 seconds for them. Still on the clock. All right, let's see where we at here. Almost there, y'all. More than halfway home. This is pick number 20. The Dolphins would have the 21st pick, but they forfeited it because of collusion. Never forget. They tricked off a first-round pick because they wanted to get Tom Brady and Sean Payton in the package deal and told Brian Flores to tank games. Okay, the pick is in for the Seattle Seahawks. That means the LA Chargers are on the clock. LA Chargers At one point in time, it looked like they might have Bijan falling into their laps, but NFL executives smartened up and the Falcons scooped them up at 8. Now we wait to see what happens. Boom! Finally, JSN off the board. With the 20th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks are selecting Jackson Smith-Njigba. JSN to the Seahawks. So he goes with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Geno Smith. That's a good move. It's a great move because Tyler Lockett's getting a little up there. And, I don't know if you continue to pay Tyler Lockett, but now that you got JSN and DK Metcalf, Geno gonna cook. Geno should cook. So arguably the top receiver in the draft goes at pick 20. Seattle Seahawks taking JSN. I like that pick a lot. I really do. Will we now get a run on receivers? Is this the first domino that had to fall? Appreciate y'all in the chat. You guys are doing great in the chat. Keep that coming. Corey said with no good QBs available, DT was fine. So he's trying to console you a little bit, Alexander. He's trying to console you. Lombardi, JSN to the Seahawks was not on my bingo sheet. Yeah, I don't know if it was on theirs either. I think they might be shocked as hell that he's still there. I will say this about Alex. Alex is very much pro Will Levis, and she is rolling. And she will go against anybody that is throwing some shade or alleged shade or attempted shade at Will Levis. They have children announcing this pick. It appears to be someone in a Vikings jersey announcing the Seattle Seahawks pick. I'm not sure what's going on there. Hopefully she pronounced the name right. Jackson Smith-Njigba. Nice suit. Like the suit. Oh yeah, he's dressed like he was going to get drafted by the Dolphins. He must not have known they were going to be forfeiting that pick. He's got the open shirt. Alex JSN, great pick for Seattle. I agree. I mean, again, at 20, best receiver in the draft, in theory, best receiver in the draft at 20 to learn under Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett is so sneaky in terms of how he gets open. So you're bringing in a guy who is already good at running routes and having him learn under another great route runner in Tyler Lockett. And then you put him opposite DK Metcalf. So you could use JSN in the slot. You can move him around. Like, yeah, it's a great pick. It's a great pick. Absolutely great pick. Alex, I would take Will Levis over Baker. I think we can all agree with that. I think even Corey would agree with that. Corey saying QB from basketball school, I'll pass. I mean, Hendon Hooker is there. I mean, the only knock on Hendon Hooker is he's coming off injury and he's older. He's like, what, 25? Jackson Smith-Njigba. Will Levis, the pain. He didn't think he was going to Seattle, right? I mean, it was an outside chance they could take another QB. Pete Carroll, put the smoke out there early saying they're not afraid to take a QB, but first QB off the board, 20 picks. Will Levis checking that phone heavy. Look at that. Yes, the 4-letter network analytics. It was a 1.1% chance he would be available at pick 20. But it happened, though. I think Will Levis will be good in the league. He had someone from McVay's coaching tree as his coach. And they ran very much a similar version of the McVay offense at Kentucky. Now, he did struggle early with it, but he picked it up late. So, I don't know. I think Will Levis will be fine, but it's starting to look weird in terms of where does he go? We're at that spot now. We're at what, 21? We're at 21. Outside of Minnesota and maybe New Orleans at 29, unless someone trades back up, unless someone from the second round trades back up to the first. If these picks stay the same, who would take them? Potentially Minnesota at 23 and maybe 29 with the New Orleans Saints. That's it. That's only two spots that would make sense. No, I agree, Alex. Lamar had similar look where he is now. Yeah, he's up. He's up. Lamar is up. He got his money. I may have my feelings on the contract, but he got his money. So yeah, no, Lamar is up. I mean, Will Levis could be he could go to the Saints at 29 and walk into a team that has Olave, Juwan Johnson, and Alvin Kamara. That's a great start. If I'm Will Levis, you're either walking into a team that has, as of right now, Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, or you're walking into, and again, he won't be starting, but again, you can, in theory, see him starting in a year. Oh, Will Levis is bouncing around. Will Levis is up, bouncing around. Does that mean he knows something we don't, or is he just doing it for the cameras? They're trying to keep him loose. Maybe they should give him a banana pill to eat. But he's standing up. He's not sitting down. They probably saw like the pictures online of him just like looking weird in the chair. Just like, hey, man, stand up a little bit. Move around, bounce around. He probably saw this. He probably saw this as like, hey, man, you got to show better body language, better body posture. And now they got Will Levis standing up, kind of bouncing around. Oh, boy, a run on receivers. Let's go. With the 21st pick overall in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Chargers are selecting wide receiver Quentin Johnston. Try to tell y'all I like him. Hey, Mike Williams, you ain't healthy no more? Here's your replacement, Mike Williams. Quentin Johnston. Another weapon for Jay Herbo. Some of you NFL teams should take notice. Oh, he's got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Guess what? We still gonna give him yet another one, Quentin Johnston, because Mike Williams always hurt anyway. Quentin Johnston, my favorite receiver coming out of this draft. He's the second receiver off the board. I like this a lot. I like it a lot. I'm here for it. Big body, 6'3", goes up at the point of attack, gets the ball at his high point. He can run with the rock after the catch. He gets some great yak. Deceptively fast on the breakaway. I like it a lot. Put him with Jay Herbo and away we go. Put him with Jay Herbo. Like, again, JSN could have went to a lot of other teams that have weapons that could have just added to it. The Jets could have had JSN. The Bears could have added and had JSN. But we're looking at teams now that are saying, the hell with it, let's overwhelm them. And that's where I think this NFL is going. You need to overwhelm people with your weapons. The Chargers taking Quentin Johnston. He overwhelms. You have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and now you have Quentin Johnston. When Mike Williams does his street clothes Anthony Davis thing and he goes boom, fine. Quentin Johnston now opposite Keenan Allen. And people are worried about Quentin Johnston and the drop issues. You put him with Keenan Allen, who's got some of the best hands in the league, and see if he can coach him up. He can learn under Keenan Allen. And then he can learn body control and get even better at that from Mike Williams. Great move. Great move. Love it. Absolutely love it. I would have loved anyone who would have took Quentin Johnston, but the fact that he goes to a team that, you know, has a surplus and has a top flight, top tier QB, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Derek Carr ain't bad to be a backup to someone for a year. I mean, it's a point, right? Like, you're right. I would still do it if I'm the Saints. Because we know Derek Carr, we know who he is. We know who he is. And again, it's the NFL. You can get out of these contracts. It ain't like that money's guaranteed. Alex, I had Johnston on my board on 22. Okay, so you were right on it. Right on it. So you had him going to the Ravens. What do the Ravens do now? Little Zay Flowers? Do you go Zay Flowers here? Is this a run on receivers? Because remember, I said not that long ago, I said, let's see if once JSN goes off the board, does that start to run on receivers? And away we go. Literally back-to-back picks receivers. Do we make it 3 in a row with the Ravens here? Potentially Zay Flowers, maybe a little Jordan Addison. Do they go for Jalen Hyatt? We've seen some reaches already. Why not reach and go get Jalen Hyatt if that's the play? There you go. Love that pick. Love the Quentin Johnston pick. Absolutely love it. Thomas agrees. Quentin Johnston, good pick. I like it. Yep. Alex, Chargers trying to win the West. Yeah, I mean, they have to compete. Because you know Mahomes and them, if anything, this at least plays keep away from Mahomes. You don't want Mahomes being able to have Quentin Johnston. Alex is saying Zay Flowers to Baltimore. Are you reporting that or you're wishing it? I'm not mad at it. I mean, they can have their pick of whoever's left. There's certainly plenty of wide receivers left. You know, Zay Flowers, he's projected to go here in the mock draft that we have. Again, remember Michael Mayer. He's a guy the Monken, the new OC for Baltimore. He loves multiple tight end sets. Even though y'all kept telling me about Isaiah Likely, that's cool, but that was a 4th round pick, bro. Like, you could potentially do that, or you could go as Zay Flowers or Jordan Addison. Could we be in the middle of a run on wide receivers? Thomas, you always need weapons. That's big facts, bruh. It's big facts. Always need weapons. Up, Schefter's saying something. Does that mean there's a move? Is there a move? There it is. Boom. with the 22nd pick overall, the Ravens are selecting Zay Flowers. So another weapon for Lamar Jackson. As they're talking about it now, most guaranteed money on a single contract. He has the third most behind Kyler Murray, which we spoke about. And obviously Deshaun Watson with 230. Now there's the problem with that graphic that they just showed on the Full Letter Network. The Kyler Murray guaranteed money, that's only when it vests. He got 170-ish. I think I had it on the stream earlier, the Timeline T earlier. That's when the money vests. It turns into 189.5. But, Boogie Down is mad at me because I'm calling it funny money when it's not even more money than Kyler Murray. So, which Kyler Murray is also funny money. So I don't know how I'm the bad guy in that one, but it is what it is. Zay Flowers to Baltimore. Yep. And Alex was wishing it, but we got it. And for the first time, this mock draft got it. I've been referencing this mock draft for the last few weeks. They've only gotten a few. I mean, they got Bryce Young, but everyone did. They only gotten a few right. Oh, Alex, you missed out. You don't know? Oh, yeah. Lamar got a deal. Lamar got a deal. It's very much along the same lines as Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts. So he did not get a Deshaun Watson type deal. He did not get a Kirk Cousins type deal. He did not get a Aaron Rodgers type deal. He fell in line, very similar to Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. So that's the type of contract. He got a 5-year, $260 million extension. Of the $260 million, $185 is guaranteed. So there is your Lamar Jackson update. Yes, Lamar Jackson got a deal. Zay Flowers has just been announced as the pick. He goes with Lamar and OBJ and Mark Andrews and J.K. Dobbins. Lamar now has weapons. And let's not forget Bateman as well. So, and I believe, Alex, do I have that tweet? I had a tweet about, okay, so yeah. So here's Pro Football Talk, a.k.a. Mike Florio. Lamar Jackson finally realized he wasn't going to get what he wanted, so he wisely, I don't like that terminology, took what he could get. The contract numbers will prove it. So again, it's just saying that, again, now also remember, Florio is very much a pro agent guy. So he's been saying Lamar needed an agent the entire time, which ultimately he's proven wrong because he was able to get the same type of deal Jalen Hurts got and he had no agent. So what would an agent have done for Lamar? Unless you're going to try to spit a narrative that a agent would have gotten Lamar Jackson a fully guaranteed Deshaun Watson contract, which is highly debatable. What would have been the benefit of Lamar Jackson having an agent? Some people say, well, he wouldn't have had to wait this long to sign the deal. That's also highly subjective and debatable. But Pro Football Talk has been very much anti-Lamar being propped up as someone that seems to be smarter than what they think he is. And now he's out here saying that Lamar had to realize that he wasn't going to get what he wanted. So again, this infers that Lamar did not want the type of contract that he got. Okay, I don't want to rehash this, but this infers he realized he wasn't going to get what he wanted. Now, what we were told is that what he wanted was more guaranteed money than Deshaun Watson, whether fully guaranteed all the way or a funny money contract with just more guaranteed money than Deshaun Watson. He got neither, so he basically was able to one-up Jalen Hurts. And it's still great money, not money that I'm saying he should turn down, but If we're to take Florio at his word, Jackson realized he wasn't going to get the contract he wanted. So he took what he could get. But, Boogie Down's mad at me because I'm essentially saying the same thing. Like, I don't think this is the contract that Lamar wanted. He took a funny money contract, but it is what it is. So I'm not shading him. I'm not shading Lamar. I'm not shading anybody. It's just like, all right. I still feel if he would have held out, if he would just took the franchise tag for this upcoming year at 32.4 and whatever the number would have been next year, probably in the 40, 50 range, and then become an unrestricted free agent, I would have loved to see what he would have been able to accomplish at that point in time. That's all. But, people are mad because they're Lamar fans, and that's fine. No shade. It is what it is. Alex, I think he settled for what he had to for now, and then in 5 years you could shoot for that big money. Alex, I hope so for his sake. I mean, it's still good money. It's $185 million guaranteed, no matter what. No matter what happens, all the alleged nonsense of him being injury prone and that his running style isn't worth for a long-term quarterback, all that nonsense. If any of that just happens to be true, he walks away with $185 million. So it's fine. However, to me, it just continues the narrative of no one wants to push back against these owners. Kirk Cousins did it. Then Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson did it. And now no one else wants to follow them. And I think that, to me, is hella problematic. Mahomes had a chance. Josh Allen had a chance. Kyler Murray had a chance. And now Lamar Jackson got a chance. Jalen Hurts had a chance. Nobody's doing it. Why would you allow Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson, and Aaron Rodgers to do it, but you're saying, I don't want that? I don't understand the rationale. Anywho, back to the draft. And we have our run on our receivers, 3 receivers in a row. The Vikings are on the clock. Do the Vikings go receiver? Adam Thielen walked in free agency. Zay Flowers is amongst the crowd. He's amongst the Ravens contingent. I see a bunch of Ray Lewis jerseys. The Vikings are milking all this clock. Get up and, stretch a little bit. We out here. Almost 3 hours in. We out here. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. All right, let's see what we got. Schefter got anything? By going to Baltimore, Zay Flowers is the first Boston College wide receiver ever to go in the first round. Flowers now is also the highest drafted player to play in the Shrine Bowl in over 20 years, and the Ravens were well represented at that event this year. Okay, it's a little backstory. Field Yates, he's out here. How things could change in a short period of time. Since Easter Sunday, the Ravens have signed Odell Beckham, then extended Lamar Jackson to a record-setting contract. See, again, the narrative. See, just that right there, the record-setting contract. And hours later, drafted Zay Flowers. That offense is looking up. Okay. We'll see. Ian Rappaport. Okay. Mel Kiper's best available: Will Levis, Nolan Smith, Dalton Kincaid, Deonte Banks, Jordan Addison. So Mel Kiper's not big on Michael Mayers. Uh-oh. The run on receivers continues. With the 23rd pick, the Vikings are selecting wide receiver from USC, Jordan Addison. 4 straight wide receivers. Y'all need to holler at your boy, man. I put that out there earlier, like, yo, once JSN go, is there going to be a run? And sure enough, JSN goes, and we've had 4 straight receivers go. I ain't just here just talking. Alex, my brother said Baltimore made a mistake because they gave Lamar a way to prove it was collusion. Well, the league did that. The league did that. Like the fact that all those teams came out en masse immediately after he signed after he was hit with the franchise tag, they did that. All he has to do is just pull up all the tweets. The tweets are still there. The tweets have not been deleted. So I agree. Like it to me was collusion. They sent a message and it worked. They sent a message to Lamar that you're not going to get it. You may think you deserve it. And there may be an owner who, if they didn't have to also give up all the draft compensation, that would do it. But we can't let you do it because then we have to give them all fully guaranteed contracts and all as in all elite or top tier young QBs. Because you wouldn't go backwards after that. You wouldn't go backwards after that, as Jordan Addison is now announced. Great shades for Jordan Addison. White shades. Love it. If you have Lamar, right? Let's say Lamar would have gotten $235. Let's say he would have just gotten $5 more million, but fully guaranteed than Deshaun Watson. Joe Burrow is not taking a penny less than $235. He's not taking a penny less. I think Joe Burrow is cocky enough that he would have done it. Now, once he does it, now if you're Jay Herbo, you have to then follow him. And that's why the narrative has continuously been, oh, this is going to be a outlier. Deshaun Watson's an outlier. Deshaun Watson's an outlier, even though he's not. He's not an outlier. Kirk Cousins did it. Aaron Rodgers got a fully guaranteed extension. It's not. It is possible. It has been done. Anywho, back to the chat. Alex Smith, great pick for Minnesota. It certainly could be. Opposite Justin Jefferson, there's a lot of shiftiness. It's a lot of yak. It's a lot of yak between him and Jefferson. Agnes in the house. Hello, Agnes. Zay Flowers. She's repping. So the Vikings give Kirk Cousins more help. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. They traded in season for Hawkinson. Still unsure what's going to happen with Dalvin Cook. He had surgery, right? He had surgery, and then allegedly he wants to get traded to Miami. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows what happens there? And he's updating it pick by pick. 4 wide receivers have been taken in a row after none was taken in the first 19 picks. And they're in commercial break. The New York Giants are on the clock. We'll see how that goes. Let me come off the screen for a second here and set this up. Thank y'all so much for hanging in. This has been a great watch along. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Stuff is happening. Stuff is happening on the timeline. Stand by. Let me get all this lined up. Oh, is that fake news? Hang on. Might be fake news. Don't want to get got. Okay. Giants traded up. So the Giants moved from 25 to 24. So they traded with the Jaguars. So this is a thing that's happening. Giants were 25. They flip-flopped with the Jaguars at 24. Ian Rappaport with the details. Giants are on the clock. And the pick is in. So clearly they're targeting someone. Are they targeting a receiver? Jalen Hyatt? We're going to get 5 receivers in a row? Is this Jalen Hyatt? Or is this Kincaid? To pair him with what? Bellinger? All right, let's see. Let's go back to Dove. Ooh. With the 24th overall pick, the Giants are selecting Deonte Banks. They go for DB. Big need for them. Okay. He was like the 3rd or 4th ranked corner. You get him at 24, which is about right because Witherspoon and Gonzalez are gone. And then there was a reach for man, who I'm forgetting at the moment. Interesting. Okay, so the Giants did that. So the run on receivers is done. That means the Jaguars are now on the clock at 25. And then we have the Dallas Cowboys, Corey's beloved Dallas Cowboys at 26. Baltimore with Monken and giving Lamar all this help, starting to look deadly. It's certainly a thing. Like, he has weapons and he likes to use multiple tight end sets. So, it should be interesting to see how they're utilized, for sure. So we'll see how that goes. Let's pull this back up. Deonte Banks. Giants look happy in their war room. Yep, Giants select CB. Yep, Deonte Banks is that guy. Giants fans are looking interesting. It's a very eclectic mix there. They still got LT jerseys on. That's how long since they've had a franchise guy. See someone in an Eli jersey. Oof. Alex CB was a good idea. Yeah. Corey does not like this pick. They need a linebacker. Maybe they don't like Nolan Smith. Apparently, teams are not high on Nolan Smith. Do you think they should have went Nolan Smith there? Will Levis, man. Yikes. So he gets past the Vikings at 23 because of the run on receivers. Yeah, it has to be the Saints at 29 if he gets picked. I think that's the only team that would take him. There's no reason for any other of these teams. I mean, the Cowboys would never do it. Yeah. It's the Saints. It's the Saints, or we'll see you tomorrow night, Will Levis. And if we see him tomorrow night, where is he going tomorrow night? Would the Rams take him at 36? Rams might take him at 36 unless someone trades up. Okay, Deonte Banks has been announced. Dallas Cowboys officially on the clock. Coming down the stretch here, 6 more picks to go. There's some interesting storylines. There was a run on the receivers. All the premier top offensive linemen are gone. There is one quarterback remaining, potentially two if we throw in Hendon Hooker. We've gotten our two running backs, which was a big bet, over under 1.5 running backs drafted in the first round. The over cashes. There's been no tight ends selected. Michael Mayer, Dalton Kincaid, still on the board. Nolan Smith, thought to be a top 10, top 15-ish top pick, still on the board as a linebacker. Somebody is going to get a top 10, top 15 pick at the bottom of the first round. Alex, if he goes second round with a first round grade, that is a steal. By definition, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I'm the Saints, you have to consider it. If I'm the Saints, you have to consider it. But if we're projecting to tomorrow, and I will not be live streaming tomorrow, not doing this for the draft. We'll have our regular timeline T at 4 p.m. Eastern, but yeah, brother got to make moves on the Friday night. But if he's around for 36, maybe the Rams. That's the only team. Maybe the Titans? Yeah. We have a trade. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for putting me on. Kincaid. The Bills are selecting Dalton Kincaid. This after a trade with the Jaguars for the spot. Bills sent the 27th and 130th for the 25th pick. Interesting. So the Jags have traded down twice to collect some extra picks, and they go Kincaid with the pick. So Dawson Knox, you're on the clock. Dawson Knox was good. Corey, in regards to Nolan Smith, because he don't know what to do with Nolan Smith, Cowboys wanted him to be a pass rusher. Okay, so they're gonna put him in the dirt. Yeah, I don't know if I like that either. Okay. Dalton Kincaid to the Buffalo Bills. So another weapon for Josh Allen. First tight end off the board, Michael Mayer. He might slide a little bit. Somebody gonna get a really good tight end in the second round. If Meyer gets to the second round, if I'm the Texans, I'd do it. CJ Will Anderson and Michael Meyer, I get to walk away with that. If I'm the Texans, I'd do that. If I'm the Texans, I'm finding a way to do that. Because, I mean, who does CJ have as a wide receiver? He doesn't have any. But if you give him a tight end, if you give him Mayer at 33. Oh, wait, did they have to move this? Did they move this pick? I got to get it refreshed. Alex Dallas did not pick yet. The Bills have traded up. So they traded up to 25, and they're going to take Dalton Kincaid. So Dallas will be on the clock next. But the pick is in for Buffalo. They're going to take Utah tight end Dalton Kincaid. And then Corey's Dallas Cowboys will be on the clock. Lots of options available. Thank you for the heads up, Thomas. Appreciate it. Susie Colbert in the house. And one thing that I don't know if y'all have noticed now, again, I don't have the sound on, but they haven't been doing a lot of those overly dramatic, like trauma porn stories. I know some people don't like the word porn, but it's trauma porn in the sense of over sensationalizing some of the traumatic experiences for these first round picks. They have made a concerted effort to stop doing that. And I'm very happy for that. But now the only drama we have is Will Levis, who is posted up with his mom, and I'm not gonna assume who those other women are, but it's him and three women on a couch. One of those women is his mom. And he's just kicking it. He's hanging out. The green room appears to be completely empty, but he is posted up. Okay, the first tight end in the draft goes to the Bills. We have 6 picks remaining. The Bills, the pick is in, but we know who the pick's going to be, Dalton Kincaid. So in actuality, the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. This is where we're going to lean on Corey, see if he has any instant, if he has some tea on who the pick might be, some analysis, so on and so forth. We had Alexandra in real time when the Bucks were on the clock. She got baby Aaron Donald. She was not thrilled. Okay, that was just okay. I knew that was a mom, so it's girlfriend and sisters. Okay, cool. That's good. Hey, he's surrounded by loved ones. Why not? At the end of the day, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, he's going to be a millionaire. It's a good look all the way around. Dalton Kincaid. Finishing up my snack here. Michael Mayer was thought to be the top tight end on the board, but Dalton Kincaid has been rising up draft boards over the last couple of weeks. And now, y'all told me tight ends don't go in the first round. Yet here we are with Dalton Kincaid, and there's a possibility that Mayers could still go before the end of the round. Good times. Sunflower, Trader Joe's Buttercups, by the way. No plug, but All right, we need some more information. What's going on? Cowboys are taking too damn long. What's going on, Corey? Jerry eating up all this clock. It's just right about 4 minutes left for the Cowboys on the clock. Typical Cowboy is going to make us wait. Schefter, nothing. Rappaport, nothing. Okay. Cowboys going to make us wait. Josina, she's got anything? More talk about the Ravens and their offense. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, J.K. Dobbins in his arsenal. And then Josina throws in Devin Duvernay. I don't know if I would do that, but that's fine. Okay, so we have some analysis on that Jets pick. Will McDonald IV, elite rusher, unique ability to bend, elite length. A lot of pauses there, but we'll let that rock. Okay, still nothing on the Cowboys. Cowboys are milking this. Leave it up to Jerry and them to make it all about themselves. Give us some bullshit high drama. We don't need this, Jerry. We don't need this. You and Steven figure it out already. Corey's saying Mayer's the pick. That would be interesting. I mean, he had y'all taking the tight end regardless, so either Mayer or Kincaid. I actually think Mayer is the safer pick, but we shall see. Wrong page. Get off that. Nothing from Dove yet. And in theory, they're still on the clock. Here's the problem for Dalton Kincaid. His NFL comp is Jason Witten. And if you're an OG subscriber of this channel, y'all know how I feel about Jason Witten. There's a whole ass video I have about how he will be a fraudulent Hall of Famer when they do put him in there. Man's button hooked you to death for about 15 years. That's not a Hall of Famer. Oh, they were comparing Mayer to Witten? I thought they were comparing Kincaid to Witten. Yikes. I haven't heard the Witten comparisons. Not Mina Kimes did not compare. Mina Kimes and who else did she have on? It was a really in-depth episode just on tight ends, and Jason Witten did not come up when he was talking about Mayer. But I like Mayer for Dallas. I just don't like them thinking that's the next Jason Witten. All right, what's going on here? Pick is in. Yeah, Corey's not a fan either of Jason Witten. I don't know how anyone could be. And if you were a fan of him as a player, you damn sure weren't a fan of him that one year he was in the Monday Night Football booth. We're really not getting no Cowboys tea. What's really good? Okay, still doing that. Nothing from Schefter. Schefter's been low tonight. This is supposed to be his day to shine. Yeah, I peeped it, Corey. Yeah, they're comparing Mayer to Witten. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Well, the pick is in. I don't know why they used up damn near all the clock. Why are they still making us wait? Because the next team is already on the clock. You can see it behind you. I don't know if that's the Bills. I'm not sure if the order now with all of these last minute trades. We really can't get this pick? Oh, boy. With the 26th pick, the Cowboys are selecting defensive tackle Mazi Smith. They go D-line, Corey. You got to love it. Defensive line. Where did this draft have them? Raj is finally up there to make the announcement. Defensive lineman from Michigan, Mazi Smith. Go blue. He goes around where you would expect. He's allegedly the top 5 defensive lineman. He's the 4th lineman off the board. Let's see. Oh, Corey's a happy man. Corey's a happy man. In the trenches. The game is won in the trenches. It's one of the few tropes that are actually real. Mozzie Smith out of Michigan to the Dallas Cowboys. Thank you, Thomas. He's still here in the chat. Appreciate you. All right, so now that leaves who? The Jaguars are finally on the clock after trading back twice and collecting some draft capital on the way. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. They got about 6 minutes left. Hopefully, they don't keep us waiting. Always worse when they're making you wait all the way at the end of the draft. Like, yo, dogs, you had all this time to sit and wait. You don't know who you want yet? After that, at 27, it will be the Cincinnati Bengals, followed by the New Orleans Saints, then the Philadelphia Eagles, and then to finish off round one and the end of the night, the Kansas City Chiefs. Does Cincinnati need a tight end? Or is this Nolan Smith territory? All smiles in the draft room in Dallas. I mean, that's always going to be the case. I've never seen someone be pissed off after drafting somebody in the draft room. That would be great, though. Okay, so here's some Will Levis information from the bluest of blue check boys, Adam Schefter. Kentucky QB Will Levis, who is considered to be in consideration in the top 4 picks, took 8 top 30 visits in recent weeks to these franchises. That's the Panthers, they passed. Texans, they passed. Colts, they passed. Raiders could still be in play, even though they passed in the first round. All these teams that he went to, they all passed on him in the first round. Again, is him being a little eccentric by eating banana peels or eating bananas with the peel and putting mayonnaise in his coffee. Was that too much for an NFL team? All right, the Jaguars, the pick is in. Now it's just a waiting game. The 4-letter network is in commercial. Let's see if Dove is going to tip the pick. And he is. Offensive lineman Anton Harrison is the pick at 27 for the Jaguars. That's a massive need considering the Cam Robinson looming suspension, that again, PEDs, and letting Jawan Taylor leave in free agency to the Chiefs. So the Jaguars go offensive line Anton Harrison at 27. So now the Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock at 28. Again, we don't need to wait for no commercials. We see the pick. We go with the pick. It's been a really interesting night. We'll be doing a lot of winners and losers stuff, I'm sure, tomorrow once we have a chance to catch our breath and assess. I'm sure the Lamar stuff will still be popping off tomorrow. I'll be putting out the clip from us talking about it on the earlier stream, so be on the lookout for that. A lot of content soon come. But I think if we're taking a look back as they doing a little pre-package as we come back in to the 4-letter network coverage, the Houston Texans being able to swap with the Cardinals, I think that's going to be slept on. Like, I hope that's talked about enough. That was I can't remember a team ever doing that before. I'm sure some historian will pull up some random year where that happened, but to be able to have the second pick and use your second first round pick at 12 to be able to get back up to 3. So you can have back-to-back picks was really strategically done well. And to walk away with CJ Stroud and Will Anderson, arguably 2 of the best guys at their position, very smooth move. And then for the Cardinals to be able to trade back to 12, get some draft capital, and use some of that draft capital to get back to 6, and still get arguably the best offensive lineman, the offensive lineman that their franchise QB wanted. Very, very adept move as well. So I love the top of the draft. It gave us some chaos. It gave us some intrigue. It gave us some drama. Love it, love it, love it. Jaguars are finally announcing their selection. We already know who it's going to be. It'll be Anton Harrison, offensive tackle. Cam Robinson with the PED looming suspension. Makes sense here. Now we have the Cincinnati Bengals on the clock with pick 28. Then we have the Saints at 29. Then we have the Eagles at 30 and the Chiefs at 31. Sometimes you got to draft for need. I'm sure they probably would have loved to give Trevor Lawrence another weapon or so, but can't do that right now. When you're starting, when you're starting tackle is about to get popped for PEDs. Can't do it. Just refreshing. Nothing's happening. They're on the clock. Yeah, about four and change left on the clock for the Cincinnati Bengals. No real tea to report. Timeline's kind of quiet because we're nearing the end of the first round. All the high drama seemed to happen in the top of the draft. We had some action in the middle of the draft with, all the run on the receivers. So that was exciting. So we have had some good times tonight. Let's see what Black Adam Schefter is up to. Sean Payton doing bong rips? Is that real? I don't know if I even want to show that. NFL fans are heartbroken about following Michael Irvin. What did Michael Irvin say? He made an announcement? I didn't even see Michael Irvin. All right, people are talking about Will Levis's girlfriend and CJ Stroud's mom. And apparently Sean Payton is doing bong rips. So is this what's happening during the draft? Is that his son? Father-son bong rips? All right. We'll let that go. Okay, with the 28th pick, the Bengals are selecting Clemson edge rusher Myles Murphy. That is the pick, Myles Murphy. Okay, so we're getting down to 29. All right, Thomas, you're on the clock, man. Will Levis is there if you want him, and then Hooker is there if you want him. Or you can, is there another need you have outside? Well, I don't know if you think QB is a need, but you're sitting here on the clock at 29. What do you want? What position do you want them to attack if it's not QB? Oh. All right, Roger's out there. He is making the announcement. Y'all already know who it is. There you go. Myles Murphy officially drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals. Three more picks: the Saints, the Eagles, and the Chiefs. Alex thinks Murphy is a great pick. He looks the part. Looks the part. I actually think he has enough versatility to play inside as well. I don't want him strictly on the edge. I would love to see him more play. I think he has the ability to play a little bit of three technique. So I'm actually here for Miles Murphy. But again, the funny part is like as I was mentioning earlier, like some of these guys are going to be a bust, and it's just funny how, you know, we're here and we're locked in and we're like, oh, this is a good pick. Oh, this guy fits this system. Oh wow, this guy should flourish there. And then like 4 years from now, we're gonna be like, oh, that was a horrible pick, or that was a bust, or that guy choked, or whatever. So every pick sounds more or less sounds good tonight. I think we've only had about 3 reaches, if I remember correctly. Roughly 3 reaches. So, yeah. Yeah, we're definitely getting down here to it. I know it's getting late for some of y'all, so I appreciate those still hanging in. But I get it. If you got to go ahead and take it down for the night, I get it. I'm definitely signing off as soon as this is done, because your boy gotta take it down for the night. Stream my ass off today. About 4 hours now. Did about almost 2 hours earlier on Timeline T with all the Lamar stuff. Your boy is talked out. Your boy is talked out. Definitely gonna have some ginger tea fresh thing in the morning with some Manuka honey to soothe his throat. Pause. Let's see. The Saints are still on the clock. They've got about just under 5 minutes left. Let's see where we at here. Let me come off the screen for a little bit. Let me just check some other stuff. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going through some other timelines. I don't necessarily want to just flash all these timelines as I scroll crazily. Okay. I don't know if Alexandra is still with us, but according to Charles Robinson, the Buccaneers have baby Aaron Donald listed as a defensive end. They're going to put him at the edge. I don't know how you put baby Aaron Donald at the edge. That sounds a little weird. Sounds a little weird, but we'll let it rock. We'll let it rock. We will invest. It's not a one compare, but Melvin Ingram was coming out of. Oh boy, they're making some Melvin Ingram comparisons. Oof. I don't know, man. Okay. Charles Robinson saluting the top of the draft, what the Texans were able to do. The Texans eliminated their competition for the Cardinals pick by selecting the QB at 2 that the Titans wanted to trade up for. That left the Texans as the lone trade partner for 3. Ninja move. Yeah, that move will have to be talked about for a long time. I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever recalled seeing anyone do that. All right, so let's see. Pro Football Focus, they got anything? Probably not. Okay, I don't know if they're tipping picks, but it doesn't look like they are. Dove. The Saints are selecting defensive tackle Brian Brees. The last D lineman to go, Brian Brees. The last top-rated defensive lineman to go. Let me fix that. So still no Will Levis. So yeah, I think Will Levis will be a second-round pick, unless someone trades into the bottom of the first round in these last two picks. I think Will Levis will be sitting there. All right, Thomas wants him to get a linebacker or a defensive end. Where'd the pick go? It was said I took Brian. I took Brees. Where is it? Yeah. So you got defensive tackle Brian Brees. So that's the pick. Not a first round grade per se, but I mean close enough. Allegedly top of the first, top of the second round. Some have him projected higher than Mozzie Smith. But yeah, there you go. 6'5.5". He's a tackle. 6'5.5", 300 pounds. That's a lot going on. That's like some Albert Hainsworth shit. That's a lot going on in the middle, dogs. Okay, so there we go with the last two picks. Miles Murphy to the Bengals, and the Saints follow up with Brian Brees. To the Saints. Okay, so now we have the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock. And if you remember the stat from earlier, Howie Roseman has never selected, what was it? Howie Roseman has never drafted a running back, cornerback, tight end, or safety in the first round. Does the streak continue? Does the streak continue? I don't think they go running back. I don't think they go DB. I mean, you got Dallas Goedert, so why would you go Mayer here? And safety, I haven't heard too much about safeties in this draft, so I don't know. I think this record remains intact. Now, if Anthony Richardson chokes in Indy, I'm going to roast all of y'all. All right. I mean, I'll be here to roast. I'll be here. You can roast. I will cede the floor. Now, it's going to take a few years now. If he has a rough, first year, you can't roast us yet. You got to give us like 2-3 years of him being mid or him being trash, and then come roast. You got to give him time like Daniel Jones, okay? You got to give him at least 3 years. 3 years. All right, so the Saints take care of business. Yeah, he is a lot like Allen Hainsworth. Yeah, that's size-wise. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when I saw those measurables. I'm like, damn, that's Allen Haynes. That's Albert Hainsworth. Now, that's big shoes to fill. But off the measurables, I can see it. Mel Kiper's best players available: Will Levis, Nolan Smith, Joey Porter Jr. Who's that? Kevin White? Kevion White? And then Michael Mayer. Yeah, Joey Porter Jr., that's surprising. He definitely had a first round grade. He was there too. He was there. He left. He's not in the green room no more because they keep just showing Will Levis. So Joey Porter got out of Dodge. They're showing Will Levis. Apparently his girlfriend has gone viral tonight. It's always a little weird when people discover people's significant others and then begin to look them up online. And I say that as someone who showed y'all CJ Stroud's mom earlier. So full transparency. I was just like, oh, okay. All right, Mrs. Stroud. But here we go. Do we have any picks in? 2 picks left. Dove does not have the pick. Alex, if by year 3, if his mechanics are bad, I'll roast you. Yeah, I mean, look, if his mechanics are still bad, yeah, feel free. I don't duck the smoke. You know, Boogie Down mad at me. I don't duck the smoke. He could be mad. He could unsubscribe. It's fine. He could be mad. It doesn't matter. Like, I'll be here. I'll be right here. Joey Porter Jr., Will Levis, and Nolan Smith are shocks to me. Yeah, I agree. For sure. It's and this is where a team like the Eagles can really tap in because it's a value pick. It's like a free, like they can go. I know they were thinking about revamping the secondary and they lost some DBs. They could go Joey Porter Jr. here. They could continue to enhance the D line. They could go edge. Although Nolan Smith is more of a linebacker, but who knows what people project these guys to be. They could go linebacker at Nolan Smith. They did lose some linebackers in the offseason. So, you know, the Eagles are in a position of power yet again. Every time they see to be drafted, they're in a position of power. So not only do they pair Jalen Carter back with Jordan Davis, are they able to add Nolan Smith into the mix? Is that the play here? They have about 2:20-ish left on the clock. All right, Tom is giving us his Saints analysis. Not the pick I wanted, but we will see. I have to do my homework on him, but we need D-line help. Okay, so at least it was a position of need. Okay. All right, it looks like the Eagles they're clapping, so the pick should be in. The graphic hasn't changed on the 4-letter network yet. All right, the Eagles pick is now in. Let's see. There it is, Nolan Smith. Boom. Nolan Smith. We were just talking about it. It's a select play. It's a play where you get to select from a position of power. And they'd have him as an edge rusher. So Nolan Smith off the edge. So he gets to be out there with Hassan Reddick. So the rich get richer. A team that had one of the most dominant defensive linemen, the dominant defensive line groups in the entire league, walks away with Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. Have fun with that, NFC East. Have fun with that. Good luck. Good luck. Just go ahead and keep drafting Georgia Bulldog defensive linemen. Just go ahead. I mean, why not? Why not? So now we have the Chiefs here. Do the Chiefs flip this pick? Do the Chiefs flip this pick? I'm not sure what I would do if I'm the Chiefs, to be quite honest with you here. I don't know what I would do. You either flip it to someone who really wants Will Levis, but I don't see that happening at this point. Let's see. All right, they're doing some special thing here at the bottom of the first round. Not that this is dragging at all. Not that this is dragging at all. We love bits at pick 30. Over 3 hours in. This is exactly what the people want. I'm sure it's some sort of charitable giveaway thing, but they definitely could have did this in the middle of the draft, not at the end. Alex, nice pickup for the Eagles. Yeah, I mean, this is the rich get richer. The rich get richer. All right, after all of that, they are now finally announcing the pick for the Eagles. There it is, Nolan Smith out of Georgia. All right, Chiefs, take us on out of here. Or if you're going to trade the pick, let us know. All right, the Chiefs are under 6 minutes. I really don't know what the Chiefs need. You could say receiver, but I don't know what receiver you would want to take here. Unless you're talking about Jalen Hyatt. Do they go defensive line? I would look at Jalen Hyatt if I'm them. They've been rumored to be looking at receiver. Because I don't know if they have the capital to get back up. Alex Addison? No, Addison's gone already. Addison's gone. I think Hyatt's the next receiver up is Addison. Is Hyatt, Jalen Hyatt. Yeah, all these receivers are gone except for Jalen Hyatt. Get the 5th best receiver and arguably the most dynamic. I know Greg's long gone, but he has a lot of good insight on Jalen Hyatt. He's been tapped in with him this past season, these last couple of seasons actually. So he actually said there's another receiver out of Tennessee that's really good. Let me see if I can find him. Is it Tillman? Cedric Tillman. Yeah, he's big on Cedric Tillman. If it were up to Greg, he said he would take Tillman over Jalen Hyatt, actually. Chiefs are still on the clock. They are heading down towards the 3-minute mark with time left on the clock. Can't wait to break all this down with y'all tomorrow. We can all get some rest, reset, catch our breath, and then really assess and get into what's going on with these draft picks. All good, Alex. All good. That's why I'm here. That's why I said I'm gonna sit here and watch it, keep y'all up to speed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here. Hyatt balled out against Bama. Yeah, he did. He did. It was a shootout that game. So now the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock. The Chiefs fans are starting to turn up. They've been waiting there, Lord knows how long, for this moment to turn up. They're bringing out the Lombardi trophies. They have the they have 2 Lombardis out there, and I guess they're going to have Mahomes and them walk out the 3rd as they announce this pick. No pressure for whoever this pick is. You got Mahomes, potentially Kelsey walking out the Lombardi and then announcing the pick. No pressure, though. All right, we're still waiting. The pick is not in. The Chiefs are milking all this clock. I hope if they're milking this just for TV, that's some really silly shit. And you see here, the Eagles are recreating the Georgia defense in the NFL. Oh yeah, I forgot Nakobe Dean. Jalen Carter this year and Nolan Smith this year, Jordan Davis last year, and Nakobe Dean the same year as Jordan Davis. Just basically, oh, y'all running it in college? Y'all got the dominant defensive line? All right, we're just gonna take all of them. That translates to us. And it's working. It's working. Dominance. It begins and ends in the trenches. That's been the first. It's one of the few tropes that I learned early in sports that actually was true. You're not all of that. The best ability is availability. All them little tropes. That's most of them are just bullshit. But the one of the game is won and lost in the trenches, tried and true. And Howie Roseman does not play games. He builds inside out. Start with your front line, whether it's offensive or defensive line, and build out from there. Okay, the pick is in for the Chiefs. The last pick of the first round. Up. Okay. We're going to jump the TV pick. With the 31st pick overall, the Chiefs are selecting defensive end Felix Anudike Azuma, Kansas State. They go D-line. Edge rusher, I'm assuming. That will do it. So Will Levis is not a first rounder. Michael Mayer is not a first rounder. There's going to be some good value at the top of the second round. We will talk about all of that and more tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern on TimeLine T. Thank y'all so much for everyone who has stayed to the end. Anyone who was able to tap in prior at some point, just chapping in and seeing what the hell we're doing over here. I appreciate everyone who's contributed to the chat. I appreciate even the one person who put the thumbs down. Hey, salute to you too. If you unsubscribe, that's cool too. But we do authenticity over here. We don't do fandom overload. I speak my opinion. If you like it, cool. If you don't, we can have discourse about it. But, it's all good. Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much for pulling up and staying here to the end. I appreciate you. We will talk again, I'm sure. If not tomorrow, definitely next week. So for the SamD, that is the first round of the NFL draft. I will check y'all tomorrow. Good night.